I think we're good to go then, Nilly. We are here, and it's the first round of 12 matchup, and two players you know very well, and DauT starting with the Barracks and the TC. Whoa.
Ooh, something we very rarely see here on Coastal Mountain. Typically, water is so important, and DauT will ignore that. That's going to be a militia opening, trying to kill some hunt, maybe get some distraction in. And two militia can be really annoying. Sometimes you can't really place a lumber camp, so that will be tricky for TaToH, and I don't think he will be expecting that.
I have a memory of TaToH doing this in, I think, Battle of Africa or some team game tournament from like 2017. Like, it was definitely a year or two before DE came out. TaToH did this in a team game, and now DauT pulling it out here in 2023 against TaToH is pretty wild stuff. So your traditional opening has been to dock. TaToH has done that. There were a lot of questions on why DauT might pick the GOTS, but because of the newer bonus with them where their hunt lasts longer on a map with a lot of hunt, could see this making sense. DauT's got to hope to kill some villagers at some point here.
Yeah, maybe if you don't kill villagers, you at least try to deny your opponent boars, try to deny them deer, and maybe keep them away from wood. That would be the ideal scenario if you can't find villager kills. Like 1-2 villager kills, and it would be a dream.
TaToH's camel just missed the militia. Like, he went right between them. Now, DauT's got to find targets here, you know, for this attack. For now, though, he's taking the ostrich down. This would be at a point where TaToH would be considering to come out to take wood. So if TaToH sees the ostrich are disappearing here, he may know to be able to at least research loom before he goes over to chop wood on the or build a lumber camp in the wood area.
Yeah. Maybe they're just giving away too much for DauT. I'm a bit surprised by this.
Yeah, I thought maybe he would wait. I mean, the only reason this is viable, by the way, is because you start with the huts on this map. So this is created from DauT. Some players go for the dock before a lumber camp at the fishing ships. He simply just went for the barracks. But yeah, I mean, Lithuanians start with plus 100 food. And then TaToH's already been able to bring in a couple rhinos here. So I don't think TaToH's actually going to be that bothered by this right now in terms of his food eco.
I think huts have no armor as well. So actually, militia will do 4 full damage.
Okay.
So I think DauT could maybe even take those down.
Yeah, and if wood is the main concern for TaToH, I could see that maybe being a viable play. But what a fun start to the series, right? Like, not something we would have expected. DauT coming out here with game number 1 and a unique strategy. But, you know, that's what makes these two so special, is their preparation. It's just kind of, you know, unfortunate for them, I suppose, that the way things panned out, with DauT being second in his group and TaToH being third in his, that they're up against each other here in the playoffs.
Oh, DauT sees the lumber camp instantly, and well, this could be now some annoyance. DauT wouldn't be too far away from building another militia if he thinks about it. For now, it just wants to be annoying. Has his camel there, but TaToH, yeah, he just walls. Doesn't want to have any headaches here.
Yeah, and because the camel can't attack, DauT wasn't. I don't think he was truly going to consider an attack. I do like that TaToH's playing it safe. But without a scout, you're probably not going to kill loomed villagers. So good job from TaToH. TaToH just kind of, you know, waited to go out to wood maybe a bit longer than he would have originally. He's on the way to feudal age. DauT will be on the way to feudal age as well, and DauT will have collected a lot of food behind this. So it's not like the attack is finished for DauT.
Ooh, now 3 villagers being pulled out, but they just wanted to go to the wood line. Thing is, though, DauT, yeah, he's doing some damage, maybe killing a hut, but TaToH, he's just happily fishing away here. 2 fishing ships, 1 villager on the efficient shore fish as well. TaToH won't mind too much.
Yeah, exactly. You've got quite a bit of food income there. TaToH was unable to take some of his ostriches, but beyond that, I mean, there's still the thing is, Nilly, there's always food on the other side, right? And TaToH's done a really good job. I think maybe DauT could have made an argument to even send one of the militia and just shift queue them on all the other ostriches on the other side. Moonwalking the villager there from TaToH. TaToH's making a barracks, and TaToH's going to go land. And I like this approach because obviously he's got water locked down already. So I think if anything, TaToH might add extra fishing ships later, but he's got to make sure that this 2 militia attack from DauT doesn't turn into something more.
And TaToH's not on gold, so if he wants to go for anything, it kind of has to be scouts.
Yeah.
And on this map, you can wall your resources quite nicely. Obviously, DauT, not really the guy known for preemptive walling. And DauT, he thinks, okay, I have not seen you on gold yet. Maybe I'll try to contest water, and he gets the dock up.
Yeah, DauT, his scouting has been fantastic. He hasn't scouted the dock, but obviously he will know TaToH would have done that. And this is a lot of pressure from DauT. Dad adding, not DauT, Dad, sorry. DauT adding more militia. Man-at-Arms. Goth Man-at-Arms do some pretty decent damage here. And DauT did confirm that TaToH isn't on gold, like you said, Nilly. So he's well aware that TaToH won't be able to go for many fire galleys or even archers here.
TaToH didn't do anything in Feudal Age yet. He did the wood upgrade, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, seriously. I wonder, it definitely seems like he struggled to get the wood, right? He had to place a bunch of houses here, some walling. He's got the food, but no stable yet or anything. There it is, finally, from TaToH.
Feels pretty late. Was obviously really low on wood. Houses costing him quite a bit there. And now the first fire galley out for DauT pretty soon. He is on gold. TaToH's not. This looks good for DauT.
Yeah, it really does. TaToH gonna build a tower on his wood line, which I think is safe, right? Because he knows there could be ranged units, but DauT hasn't actually added the range, right? This is so untypical of what happens on this map, or even what happens behind an infantry play. So impressive stuff from DauT. The only thing I'll say now for him is he's actually scouting the other side with 2 Man-at-Arms, so he's looking to see if TaToH goes to gold.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say is, he's going to find the gold.
Beautiful. Beautiful. The game sense of this guy. He sees, well, TaToH, you're one of the best players in the world, and I can't see you really doing anything on where I have my Men-at-Arms.
Yeah.
So he's sending them to the other side and gets rewarded.
What he doesn't know, and this could be a concern, is he doesn't know that TaToH has scouts. And so, like, at home, DauT has 1 spear, but with TaToH Micro, could easily see TaToH starting to pick apart DauT at home if DauT doesn't make more. So I think, DauT's been really fixated on controlling the golds. And nice quick walling from TaToH. TaToH's still going to be able to take a little bit of gold here. But, now it's TaToH offense time. And TaToH's moving forward. It's kind of funny how the Camel's just following the scouts. Camel could help with blocking somehow. And DauT's Spearman is there, but he's going to just need to make sure he keeps an eye on things.
And DauT, 1 exposed villager. And yeah, that's what I said. Like, DauT, he should know scouts are on the map. Why is he not preemptively walled? I think this is so typical for him. And TaToH, an easy kill to start this one off.
Yeah, well, I think it was a little bit confusing, right? Because he had TaToH in an awkward position. And so maybe he felt like TaToH couldn't afford it. But actually, TaToH had just simply made the stable next to his TC. And TaToH has milled some hunt. TaToH's adding farms. And TaToH just evened up the eco KD with those 2 villager kills there. So great game so far from both. Love, though, what DauT's still doing with the Man-at-Arms. You've got the 3 Man-at-Arms on the big gold. And then you've got the 2 Man-at-Arms on the other gold.
Have to love it. And he should now actively scout for other gold spots, because eventually TaToH will need to expand. And he's indeed going for the big gold, but the Men-at-Arms are moving. No, they're still guarding this.
Yeah, they're still guarding it. I'll be curious to see if he left them on attack stance. Looks like he did. So they automatically attack. TaToH is microing his scouts at the same time, trying to get into DauT's base. And DauT gets the walls down nicely. And TaToH didn't notice this. So TaToH loses a villager there.
Could be 2. No, Men-at-Arms are retreating. Didn't want to go for the fight. TaToH is now in at the woodland, though. 1 spearman. Can he hold?
It's just
DauT
1
sending
spear.
quite some villagers.
It's just 1 spear. DauT's got more spearmen somewhere, but they are not here. This could be awkward. DauT's got to pull him over. This is a messy, messy game here to start this series. This should be an amazing one. DauT, great defense, though. He fights off some of the weak ones with Vills. Does have 2 spearmen nearby.
That is indeed tricky for TaToH here. Still no proper gold control. Like, only 4 villages for now. The Men-at-Arms are still around. It feels like DauT should be the first to Castle Age.
Yeah, absolutely. And usually what happens on this map, we see the Feudal Age army, but usually it's a boom war. And I was briefly discussing it before we hopped into the chat here, Nilly. It's just like, if it's a boom game, Goths have a lead in the boom, they could beat any Civ. It doesn't matter your options. Like, if they can get to the infantry spam, it could be tough to stop. So I think momentum going towards Castle Age, there for DauT, and TaToH's going to need some counter to the spears, but DauT could just freely just make more of them. It's so easy for him to lock down his base at the moment.
If we think about options, how you would try to counter like Huskarl Pike, something like Lightus would be an option, but it's not a map where you go mass castles and can really spam your unique units. So
yeah,
I think the answer would need to be hand cannoneers, but they are only a soft counter.
A lot is made about DauT and his love of the market. Look at his eco balance. This is sick. He doesn't have a market. He's got the res to click up to Castle Age. He's adding a stable, so he can maybe make some scouts against any skirms, maybe some knights in the future. Is missing, funnily enough, his blacksmith. So maybe had he built the market earlier, would have had his buildings. But TaToH is getting wheelbarrow on a map where you normally rely pretty heavily on hunts. He's had to shift to farms, and still not close to clicking up for TaToH.
DauT clicks up way later than he wanted to. Forgetting those two buildings there really hurt him. But still, nice map presence. And now the big question, what is DauT going for? Walls his home base? I wouldn't be surprised if he actually commits to knights, funnily enough.
Yeah, well, it makes sense, right? And I also like the Scout Edition because if this is going to be a boom game, you're against Lithuanians, you can't allow the Lithuanians to snag relics. So this now becomes almost arena style for DauT, where it's scouts and eco, and he's rewalling his wood lines, which is really good. He's got to be careful not to overchop that wood line at any point. And behind this, DauT has had 5 fishing ships as well. Like, this is insane. It's so well played. TaToH will click up, though. TaToH has bent this game, but he has not broken. Despite being behind 700 resources collected, he's still in a position to attack.
DauT even ready to go for a second dock. TaToH now walling up his home base. He sees, well, you did not build a lot of units in Feudal Age for quite some time. You have to be up to Castle Age. Quite interesting that he's still out there with his army. If DauT gets 2 knights, he clears this up.
Yeah. You do want to get some type of counter damage in here. I do like how, well, actually, DauT has to be careful. TaToH can get insane value if these units get in. I assumed DauT would wall behind this. I don't know if I love this for DauT. Yes, he's got the upgrades, but he still doesn't have the numbers here.
Sending in some spearmen. I'm too happy with this. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the spears are going to die to the archers. He is in Castle Age now, and he's just going to kill the range units. And okay, it looks like it was just enough there. For me, I
sent the armor upgrade on the scouts.
I think I probably placed the houses there, but DauT's like, let's make TaToH think he can do damage here, and then deny that.
That's so crazy. How he knew that he could defend this. Simply to check the upgrades maybe. And so, well, TaToH, you are heavily under-upgraded. Those 3 scouts will do enough.
Yeah, all right. So second TC for DauT. Again, the eco side of things for the Goths. That's going to be important so they can get the infantry spam out. I mean, the infantry's cheap for them, right? So they don't, in theory, need that much eco, but I think it's just like using infantry in general when knights and archers tend to be a little bit more realistic in most cases is kind of the tricky thing there. Scouts from DauT don't do much. TaToH is correctly walled up here, and TaToH also dropping his second TC. Another great play from TaToH in this game to make sure he gets his walls down. Sometimes when you tower, sometimes when you don't have your typical feudal age nilly, very easy to just forget a couple spots, and then those scouts from DauT could have killed villagers.
But TaToH way too good for that. Now tries to defend here. Scout low HP, but micros that one back. Not finding any kills with a knight under the town center. TaToH on point.
Yeah, seriously. I doubt under the TC will only kill a scout there. But I mean, for as on point as TaToH has been, is you've got DauT doing the same. And this is playoffs, people. Like, both of these players played really good. DauT was second in his group. He really only had 1 poor round. And that was against Yo, who ended up with 14 wins out of 15 in the group stage. And then TaToH was in that group. Yes, he was 3rd place, but he got 11 wins. And he was in the group with Viper and Leary, right? So just epic players here and epic walls here from DauT to keep the light cav out from TaToH. Neither player is allowing the other opportunities to get any more damage in right now.
But that house, 73 HP, and now he's sending the villagers. Maybe a bit late. I think he needs to wall.
Oh, God. He tried to repair it there as he was probably fighting on the other side. And, you know, things could get out of hand here. TaToH into the monastery, or sorry, into the TC with his monk. And DauT cut the houses down at the same time. DauT really lucked out there, I think. Those light cav could have been awkward.
Yeah, TaToH killed the house, but stood there with his light cav, didn't shift click them through, and that's how DauT could get those houses up. This is solid for him.
Yeah, it
Solid
is.
12 worker lead now.
So DauT's last game in group stage was the third game against Yo, where he had a 40 villager lead, and his opponent was making mainly monks. And DauT, seemingly annoyed with the monks, just kept making longswords against them and never went for light cav, right? I like how DauT here has gone for the scouts. He does lose his own monk, but he's kept those scouts alive, Nilly. And as long as he keeps his scouts out there, I think it's going to be tough for TaToH to really advance forward with monks. It's going to be difficult for TaToH to get as many conversions as he would like here. And then DauT could hold this lead of about 15 villagers.
Yeah, and I think we will see more light cav in the future in tournaments, because right now monks seem so strong that we see them in close to every game, and light cav simply the best counter unit, and people are, as you said, still spamming a bit too many units against it without actually going for light cav.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, migration meta has been kind of fun to talk about. At the start of Gold a couple months ago, players were just going ships and monks, and then players started to figure out, oh, let's actually make light cav for the middle, and now that seems to be the meta there. So fun to talk about. Look how active DauT is. DauT is playing incredible here. He's got a scout sitting on the relic on the right. He's got a scout sitting on the other relic on the mountain area. And he still has that army in a position where he could potentially pressure TaToH. So TaToH is behind here as DauT goes for TC number 4. TaToH needs to do a little bit more damage here.
Yeah, but how, right? He's so far away. He's in his own base. Light cav sees everything. Oh, DauT doesn't really want to commit here.
Yeah, it's a little uncommon to go with one light cav, but he does get one monk. I think that's still worth it.
Still nice healing for TaToH to save the first one there. Now the relic in the center, kind of the one that we will contest. Monks of DauT are arriving. Ooh, conversion luck could be crucial here.
Yeah, you're right. There's no light cav for DauT though, right? So I think TaToH will just back away, and he'll happily bring in his light cav. And this is a weakness for DauT, is the monk type of scenario, and that's going to be okay for TaToH. He's going to convert knights. He's going to have his monks in there to heal. I think this is a fight that DauT needs to leave.
I'm really shocked that he is in there. Without any light cav, just imagine he had 2-3 light cavs himself, would have been so much better. And TaToH is just taking the brilliant fight that he needed to take.
Yeah, and TaToH needed that, like you said. And DauT, maybe that stubbornness creeping in a little bit more, right? In regards to monks, it feels like when you've got the eco lead, maybe you can back away and not give TaToH a snowball. And TaToH continues to take pretty good fights, right? He's still killing monks, and I could see this getting out of hand for DauT if he doesn't get something more on the field soon.
Oh man, now adding more barracks, so this is a switch into pikemen here. Makes a lot of sense in the sense that you want to counter the knights, but this map is so open and you can raid so many areas.
Yeah.
It will be tough to have pikemen in all spots.
Yeah, that said, DauT has pulled TaToH's army away. And I think TaToH's kind of giving DauT the warning he needs now. That is the most exposed area of the wall, so just house wall that up. And with 90 villagers versus 71, I think DauT is in a position where he can make enough pikes to hold here. He should be
Also not
okay.
too far away. Yeah, also not too far away from getting a castle, so
Yeah.
I don't mind DauT's position too much. Just need to make sure, house wall, and get some more barracks up. I also would have liked to see the barracks spread a bit more. He has most of them at the bottom.
Yeah, well, that was where he was exposed, right? TaToH's made it tricky, and TaToH's gotten through here. If there's ever a chance for TaToH, it is because of that fight in the middle and the consistent production and pushing from him. Yes, pikemen are good against knights in terms of cost effectiveness, but a knight will still win a 1v1, especially when you have 2 relics sitting at home, which TaToH does. So he's Lithuanians. He's now got 10 plus 3 attack because of the attack upgrade he researched, but then also the 2 relics he collected. And TaToH's got enough stone for a castle. It almost feels like forward castle territory, like continue to pressure here, but it's such a long distance to walk to get here.
Yeah, he would need to send the villagers like 30 seconds ago if he really wants to go for that. DauT heavily under-upgraded in his pikemen as well. Maybe now takes the fight, but those knights still reasonable HP after all the healing.
Yeah, but then you look at these numbers. Are you going to take the fight, TaToH? Is it worth it for you here? That's a lot of pikemen. He is going to take the fight. The healing's been effective. The pikes are getting shredded. But, you know, and behind this, TaToH's dropped a very defensive castle thinking about late game. This is important moments for TaToH to take control over the game, allow himself to spread out a little bit more as well. But still, we're expecting DauT probably to clear this up.
Also, Raid's at the top now, and he gets in because DauT over-chopped this area. Tricky if he sees it. Instant reaction by DauT. Wow.
Yeah, but I wonder, like, does reacting even save the villagers here, right? Like, it just feels like you're reacting in too many areas. That's the issue for DauT. He's going to have to finally like, get a hold of some army here to push forward at some point. Look at the other side. TaToH just sent 2 knights over there. DauT did not react there. And Nilly, it was a 20 villager lead for DauT at one point. Now it's 91 versus 93.
That happens if you kill 20 villagers there. Pretty crazy by TaToH. Defensive castle at the top. And DauT should probably know, okay, now I weathered the storm and should probably tech into something else or at least stop production because he simply doesn't need 40 pikemen on the field right now.
Yeah, agree. I mean, that was just clearly just the panic of the situation, right? And TaToH was able to break through in a lot of different areas. Well played to him. And now DauT should push. There's still random red units around, so that's still a couple raids could come in. But I like what TaToH's done. He placed the castle next to his starting TC. Soon he could have the stone maybe to drop a castle next to his TC on the mountain on that other goal. That's a crucial area for him. So I expect him to even use the market to drop it. And if he does that, you know, behind 3 relics, oh my god, that's a lot of pikes. He could stop from the pikemen taking out his TC. Not that we see that every day.
That's just very weird numbers of pikemen. And DauT is in a spot where he feels like, okay, now I need to use them. And he will just randomly send them forward. If DauT had like 2 Mangonels or 2 Rams at the top, I think they could actually find value.
Yeah. I mean, if TaToH had the castle next to this TC, then, you know, these pikes accomplish nothing. But I think DauT could even get into the woodlines, kind of. It's going to be awkward. DauT does click up to Imp. I think we both agree that that's definitely the right play. Like, you don't need to spend more on army right now. And DauT's pikemen kind of wandering around aimlessly, just sitting on the stone, I guess, for now, as both players are going to be on the way to Imp. Now, what a game. I hope the whole series is like this. This is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, this is like completely different approaches, interesting mid-game, crazy transitions, and high-level play. Exactly what we wanted to see from those two.
Yeah, and I think part of that, too, is the meta was formed during the group stage. The draft was the same every time. Come playoffs, they will have to play potentially 5 games, which means there's more civs that need to be picked. But then also we introduced more bans. So meta was formed, and at least thus far, like DauT has kind of broken the meta with this. I mean, it obviously didn't break TaToH early, but Goths with a good eco at this stage of the game, you don't normally see that in competitive Age of Empires.
Yeah, most of the time nowadays, if we see Goth, it's kind of for the early laming and trying to get advantages in maybe even Dark Age. DauT tried to get an advantage in Dark Age, but not typically do we get into an even game into Imp. And as we mentioned earlier, we think Goth should have very high chances here.
Yeah, and I like what DauT's going to do. There's a lot of people who are going to be like, wow, TaToH's going to go hand cannons. You need to think about skirms. Goths have good skirms. When you're Goths, and you have access to the Anarchy upgrade, which means production from Huskarls from the barracks, and then the Profusion upgrade later, which means much faster producing infantry from barracks, you just freaking spam infantry, Nilly. The cost effectiveness is still going to be solid for you, and it's just, I mean, every low elo player is faced up against it, right? It's just non-stop pressure all the time. So I like what DauT's thinking here with the additional barracks being dropped.
Yeah, and hand cannoneers, as I said, they are a soft counter. Like, if we have like 40 on one spot, yeah, Huskarls won't do much, but DauT just raids another area then, and this will be tricky for TaToH.
Yeah, TaToH has to drop a bunch of houses because of the pikemen. Again, that's an important position for TaToH to lock down. DauT will see that. DauT is making a trebuchet already from his castle. And TaToH to get some more raids in on the coastal area on the right. But, you know, that should eventually be dealt with as DauT's going to have Halb. Nice shot from TaToH to delay, though. Like, the military count's been 60 for DauT and, like, 10 for TaToH for a long time. The fact that TaToH has still done more damage to DauT than DauT has done to him is impressive.
TaToH even going for hill forts. Extra range for his town center, something that we don't see too often. And I don't really think it's that necessary, right? He has town centers behind his castles, and right now raids aren't coming in.
I mean, there is a world where maybe he thought it was tower shields, which is the unique tech for the trash, but I doubt it because he's not making skirms. And it would not be an upgrade to prioritize when your opponent can make the high Pierce Armor Huskarl. So I think that he's just trying to do every little thing he can. But DauT's ready to push. But Nilly, DauT's going to trap the middle castle? Interesting choice.
I would have preferred the top one as well. Try to get TaToH off gold. That could be the winning scenario here for DauT. The Lithuanian player against Goth, and they can't build any gold units.
Yeah,
that's an auto GG.
Yeah, exactly. The hand cannons are needed, and TaToH's going to be creating them. TaToH will also have bombard cannons, so I don't know exactly when they're going to show up. It looks like he's got 2 in queue. He will eventually try and snipe these trebs, but DauT's at 210 pop. Like, he is fully popped right now. He's also keeping an eye on every location, right? He's patrolling the right side with his halbs right now. He has really good upgrades. Soon he's going to have full upgrades, at least from what's available for the Goths, on his infantry as well.
That's sick. That's so sick, yeah. Have to love it. Elite Huskarl, the only thing that we're missing. And now let's take a look at how efficient the hand cannons are. Obviously against Halberdiers, they should be really solid.
TaToH attack rounds between 2 trebs. So that means he didn't have to fire as many shots to kill him one by one. 3 volleys, he kills 2 trebs. He holds his position. He's got tons of gunpowder. And DauT might be feeling like he could have used his momentum a little bit more, but still, he's got and he's ready to spam, Nilly.
And this is like a perfect game as well to start a set off, right? Yep. You are playing a civilization that's kind of questionable, kind of tricky. Your plan works out, and you get to imp and spam in a position where your opponent is kind of helpless. Your confidence has to be so high after this game if DauT wins it.
Yeah, now Elite Huskarl needed still. We haven't seen that upgrade from DauT with 32 Huskarls on the field. Also, TaToH's continuing to get some raids in on the coast. So, like, both players are kind of exposed there. So as they fortified the mountain, they've had issues on the coast. But DauT's going to castle the mountain right now. Still, it looks like he's saving up for Elite Huskarl at the moment.
Looks like it. It's only 200 food away. Okay, now queued up 15 more Huskarls, so things better of it.
Yeah, well, he does have Huskarls headed into the back of TaToH's eco. If it's Elite Huskarl, they 3-shot a hand cannon. And obviously the unit's very speedy and you can produce them very quickly, so you can find your spots. And TaToH's kind of got to sit in one location. That's why DauT is happy to raid, because hand cannons in low numbers are just still going to just die anyways. So TaToH needs one position, DauT not giving it to him. But now TaToH's starting to push the mountain a bit. He's got the hand cannons grouped up, and he's got bombard cannons ready to push the castle.
Lots of idle villages now for TaToH. Income is not there. Huskarl still raiding quite a bit. But yeah, it just feels like DauT is not really getting onto siege. What I would love to see some sneaky barracks at the bottom by DauT.
Yeah. I would love to see Elite Huskarl as well. Like, I think Elite was needed before the next wave of Huskarls. You would have got potentially better value from the units he just sent into TaToH's eco. But, I mean, credit to TaToH here. Everything that happened at the start, right? Your game plan is to take the hunt. Can't take all the hunt. Then you've got militia. Then you've got man-at-arms. The scouts were late. But TaToH, in the game, he's got 40 hand cannons now. This has become a problem for DauT.
Yeah. Monastery relatively exposed, but well, lightest numbers aren't the most important here for now. And DauT, he's trying to somehow find a hold with his castle at the top, but it's tricky. He's not really getting any units there.
Yeah, I think DauT's getting ranged unit upgrades to think about Skirmisher here nearly, but it really feels like by the time he might get out there, TaToH's still going to have the potential to make Latus again, and this is amazing here from TaToH. What a hold. DauT's still trying to hold his castle, of course, but I think I'm at a point now where I definitely prefer TaToH's position.
How do we still not have Elite Huskarls? DauT is an imp for like more than 10 minutes, it feels like. And he had 130 villages this whole time.
Yeah. And remember those trebs in the middle, right? It's like he had the hill controlled at that point. He had TaToH on the back foot. And now DauT's starting to make the sneaky barracks on the right. He's trying to raid there. But will DauT regret not having his trebs? He just lost a treb, actually. And TaToH tries to go in for another treb next to the castle. A nice quick wall there from DauT to keep his treb alive in there.
Really nice move. But the trap still shooting away. And 3 traps, even uphill. Really tough to repair against that. Bombard cannon wants to go through, but the Huskarls are blocking it. And hand cannons could snipe it quite easily as well. I don't think this bombard cannon will get to deny the traps.
Oh, man, losing this bomber cannon would hurt so much. DauT has got to be sick to his stomach right now because the game plan to get to this position, to get to the strength for his Civ, one of his later picks, too. It was like one of those things that you might want to break the series. It just hasn't panned out in Imp yet, Nilly. But I think yet's the key word, right? Because he's still got barracks with vision on the gold on the right. He's still camping that, and there's still potential for him to get a lead Huskarl. We haven't seen it yet. Maybe he thinks he clicked it, but with the lead Huskarl and Halb and a couple cannon shots, could be huge.
TaToH's out of gold and 400 gold. He is now expanding to the gold to the front, but this could be a nice spot to raid.
Yeah. And DauT still controlling the gold, taking the gold on the coastline. So, okay, DauT settled things down a little bit. He still has elite Huskarl resources. You just have to sell wood, and then you click it. Like, that feels super realistic. I'm beginning to think more and more, maybe, that he believes he has it at this stage, Nilly, because I've done that quite a few times.
He has so many different upgrades as well. Maybe he, thought that Perfusion... it's weird, because he got both unique techs out of the castle.
But, right now, the possibility for DauT is raid that gold. Right? Yeah, TaToH can hop into the castle, but you get units onto that gold when TaToH's hand cannons are defending in the middle, and you're in a great spot. And TaToH knows this, and TaToH's going to try and wall it up. DauT should be able to take out the walls pretty quickly here, though. What a great play from TaToH to drop the walls.
Buys himself quite some time. Hand cannons from behind. Maybe some great attacks.
Oh, man, big shots. I mean, DauT will take that as well. If he can get through the walls and have shots like that on the hand cannons, he'll take it. Too bad Goths don't get guard tower. I feel like even a couple towers there on that gold would be helpful, but with regular tower, maybe not. Okay, DauT definitely has the res for elite Huskarl now. It's doable.
Even goes for guilds. I think he doesn't know.
Oh, man. I mean, you're going to your castle occasionally for trebs. You got to hope that maybe DauT will see that, because you'll see the icon still there and left to be clicked.
But are your eyes really moving there? If you want a trap, you just click your hotkey from the castle.
Yeah, and he's going to go bombard cannons now anyway, so for siege, it's going to be that. Oh, man. DauT thinks his resources are perfect, and he's got a lead Huskarl here. I mean, he is still going to raid with some regular Huskarls. Still could win this game without a lead Huskarl. It's just you want to be maxed out with your stats if you can be.
Oh, nice shot against the traps there. TaToH incredibly good with bombard cannon micro. But simply the numbers are getting tricky.
Oh, TaToH says his trebs are not moving.
Oh, yeah, we all know this bug. Oh, yeah, that's just really ugly.
The bug. Okay, well, the one can move. So, obviously awful for TaToH there. Apparently tried to move the trebs thanks to E-Moment. And unfortunately for TaToH, it's kind of a big moment, right? DauT is going to be able to push the middle now a little bit more than he could have otherwise.
Yeah, certainly buys himself more time because those traps are still alive. Hand cannons are trying to do something, but tricky for them.
Yeah, and DauT has gotten to a point where he's adding in skirms now as well. And with everything that I said before about how you could just push with the Goths, they do get good upgrades with skirms. And if you don't have a lead Huskarl, you might need them.
He would have the resource like 4 times now. Pretty crazy. Such a long queue now, and it's still looking good for DauT.
Yeah, it really is. TaToH's still got gold. He's still got food. But if TaToH loses the middle of his base, there's nothing to stop the infantry from running right through this. And this is also where TaToH's archer ranges are. This ridiculous battle here. DauT has lost a couple bombard cannons over the last few moments, though, so he's got to be careful here. What a game, Nilly. This game is ridiculous.
That's so good. That's so good. And TaToH, he is trying to make something happen. Let's just hope that the trap move isn't getting into his head too much.
Yeah. I mean, since then, everything's been fine, right? Obviously, no time for them to really stop and talk about it. And TaToH sniped like 5 bomber cannons over the last few moments.
Yeah. I think so as well. And that buys so much time. +1 trap and the castle. It lives.
It lives. And now Winged Hussar can come in. Now TaToH has time for Bracer, which helps his castles even more. TaToH's still taking gold. TaToH has more relics than DauT. TaToH uses this opportunity. It's so smart. The second DauT doesn't have siege to push the castle, he raids. Prior to that, he needed to hold. He's officially held now, and DauT is not exactly castled on the coastline. So some villagers have gone down for DauT. Maybe TaToH will need to think about getting access to the gold in the very right corner, Nilly. Like, I think there, if TaToH can get some villagers there soon, he will last a lot longer in this game.
Yeah. How much gold does he have at the front? It's 1100 only. Wow, TaToH, again, another timer.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. But we haven't really talked about DauT's gold income. I'm still really curious on that. Like, his can't be that great either. Yeah, it's really not, Nilly. I'm not seeing many areas where he's taking gold.
Some at the bottom. Some at the right. That's it. Only at the bottom as well.
Yeah,
There's no more gold at the top.
Yeah, so it's all the coastline at this point where DauT does have barracks. So in theory, it's easier for him, but it is just 1 or 2 barracks. And oh man, DauT still trying to push TaToH's castle, but I really like... I know that Halbs spam quickly, but I really like hand cannon Hussar as a long-term comp. As long as TaToH can keep these hand cannons alive, of course.
Yeah, but how? How? It's just so easy for skirms to constantly being sent in.
Yeah, that's true. And then the Halbs produce borderline instantly, too. So it's like you find an area to kill the villagers at DauT's base, and boom, he's going to have more Halbs.
Yeah, and so many Halbs now. Hussar, even with all their bonus damage. Okay, we'll at least get the bombard cannon.
So TaToH's castles have 83 kills. That's how important these castles have been. Actually, no, it's 100 because I didn't count the castle on the right. That's something we need to talk about, too. DauT doesn't really have castles in his eco.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, so true. Just imagine, like, Huskarls. He could have had more pierce armor. Those castles, maybe 10, 15 kills less.
Yeah. TaToH's killed 100 villagers in this game, nearly. TaToH's still holding to his castle. Now, DauT did kill quite a few of those hand cannons with the skirm, so he's not going to mind that. But
Hussar raids are coming in everywhere. Like, TaToH raiding at 3 different spots now. But just look at the stream of blue dots coming into the center of the map.
It's crazy. It is just crazy. I wonder if TaToH getting 2-man Saw and crop rotation... Certainly 2-man Saw helps, but like crop rotation, if this game goes on for another 10, 15 minutes, might actually pay off for him here.
Yeah. Very likely. And it's just, if you're only having very limited resources, crop rotation makes lots of sense. He has lots of farmers as well, 70.
Look at him. He continues to realize that DauT needs to move forward for wood because he's actually doing the same, and he's just going to raid it. And DauT's still trying to find, the finishing blow to TaToH in the middle, but TaToH's hand cannons pull back to the castle fire. The castle continues to get kills. The hand cannons stay alive, and I think at this point, like, DauT must be asking himself, what more can I do? He's not going to be able to make that much siege to push castles anymore.
It's tricky. Is there a dream world? TaToH is just so crazy good in those situations.
I mean, DauT has played incredible here, right? Like DauT has played good enough to get a win against so many players. And it's the first game, comes out with this strategy. Can you imagine just the feeling of this planned strategy paying off, but then the feeling of it not paying off, Nilly? Like, did he try it against the wrong player? Because the coastline is now getting raided as well with these winged hussars. TaToH's going to start to take a bit more gold potentially in the very right corner where he's got some villagers there. And DauT still can't push any of these castles.
DauT has 76 farms, and right now, 30 of those are only being used.
Yeah, it's just been raided too heavily. TaToH's killed 150 villagers. Crazy hold from TaToH in the middle. Crazy raids elsewhere. DauT has 1 gold miner from what I'm seeing, and then, of course, the 2 relics. That is it.
Still more excess at the bottom. Could go for more gold and stone. Did he scout that? He didn't even see it yet. But he sees that TaToH is now at the gold at the right side.
Yeah. And that'll be, the problem there is, what can you produce out of the barracks? It's going to be halbs, right? So you just queue up some halbs, but there's enough hand cannons there waiting to potentially deal with that. This is where the game truly gets decided from here. This push in the middle from DauT. Because TaToH had been able to hold before. If TaToH's eco's wide open, the hand cannons suddenly can be clamped down on by the skirms.
Oh, and bombard cannons are getting killed by the winged hussars, and that means the bombard cannon of TaToH will become so much better, and he can kill the traps.
Wow, what a play from TaToH. Are you kidding me? And I'm sure that's the thought that went through DauT's mind after that. Are you kidding me? I had 2 traps, I had 2 bombard cannons, and I don't get this castle again.
Oh no. And I said, like, how good DauT's mindset has to be after game 1 if he wins this one. And all of a sudden, how does TaToH have to feel? Like, he could feel like, oh god, this set is over. If you pull off this strategy, you're so far ahead, you play your dream game and still lose?
Yeah.
Oh god, TaToH has to be so confident.
Yeah, and I think DauT knows now he's probably screwed, right? 150 pop is not the population you want to see. He's continually reacting to raids. The wood eco is actually a big issue for him now. He's got 7 on wood. And, TaToH, he could go for the kill in terms of, like, pushing the mid, but against Goths, it's like, what do you really even hit? So he just continues to pry DauT apart on both of the sides as he sees DauT now has placed a castle on the shoreline. An important castle to place from DauT, but now TaToH has a target.
TaToH gathered 2.5 times the resources of DauT in the last minute. It's just so good for him because he's raiding so much and forces so many villagers to be idle.
Yeah, and it means the food eco is better, 90 farms for TaToH. The gold eco is better, plus the relic advantage. The wood eco is superior. And it's only gotten worse for DauT, right? He's now down to 130 pop. There's no turning around from here. TaToH's going to win this game.
It's really good for him, for sure. Elite Skirm's not really the unit that you want to send back to deal with Hussar raids. DauT really exposed. Only the dream scenario. The only thing that's going on for DauT is gold control.
TaToH has attack grounded through 2 trebs twice in this game at crucial moments. Just epic stuff to do in the moment. The second he saw this castle on the shoreline, he obviously was going to come right over here. This might be when DauT taps out, because DauT has no advantages now if he loses this castle.
Oh, God. And now the big question is, like, what kind of a player DauT is? In the sense, is he watching streams here? Is he looking through it? And sometimes if you're playing a set, okay, 2-minute spec delay. Either he wants to stay in his own head, or sometimes you watch the stream, what do other streamers have to say? And if he then realizes he didn't have Elite Haskell, how will he deal with that emotionally?
I don't know how DauT treats these types of situations, but, one would hope that he, regardless of how he loses this, he knows we don't think about this now, right? We think about this later. So, yeah, you would hope that for DauT's mindset that he never finds out he didn't have Elite Huskarl in this game until after the series. So, yeah, hopefully he stays locked in and is not, trying to investigate it. I've had tournament games before where I lose a game. I'm like, how did I lose it? And I watch the rec real quick before I start the next one. Horrible idea. Don't do it.
Oh yeah. That sounds weird. I asked DauT once after being down to 0 in a best of 5, and he still came back 3-2. DauT, what was your mindset? How did you prepare? What did you do before going into game 3? And he said, well, I clicked ready.
Okay, yeah. So I think the more simpler-minded DauT is probably more suited for getting an elite upgrade and being able to just move past it. Oh, man. His pop has gone up from last I said something about it. It's at 155 now, but TaToH's just slowly creeping down the buildings. TaToH's killed 256 villagers in this game.
It's just crazy how actively TaToH was playing this, and now he's just taking out the barracks and the archer range at the front.
Yeah.
And typically that's not a big problem, right? Goth just builds 5 barracks further back, but DauT with the limited wood, this actually hurts.
Yeah. DauT's he has been in a position where he can't realistically recover from this for some time now, I think. Sure, you've got some holes in your walls. Yeah, what are you going to wall it with? Palisades? Have fun with that, because you can't stonewall. Even doing that, it's like the walls are just going to get trebbed down. Your production building's getting pushed. You don't have the gold control, so TaToH could realistically think about something other than just Hussars for Cap. He could go for Latus if he felt like it was needed. But, like...
55 Hussars in the queue, though.
Yeah, seriously. I just so impressive from TaToH, though. This whole game was so good from DauT. There were some moments, like some tiny moments, like maybe a fighting Castle Age, maybe being a little later to Castle or Imp. Moments that DauT could have maybe taken advantage of. But Nilly, those are like normal circumstances when you've already, had so many good things go right for you. And to see TaToH recover from this, even though DauT didn't get Elite Huskarl, because we don't even know, like with Elite Huskarl, TaToH could have still won this game. Just so impressive.
Yeah, like how he came back into this mid-game fight, right, where he had all the monks, got the conversions, and DauT was having his light cap spread a bit.
Yep.
And then suddenly DauT got taken all his map control away from TaToH. That was really impressive.
There's something that DauT did twice in this game, though, that I'm really surprised that he's done, because I think he does a better job at this than most. And he made the mistake of trickle trebbing twice, where he went in with 2 trebs, lost them, and we argued, should you even push the middle instead of the gold, which might have been the greater issue in early imp. And then at another point, 2 trebs, and then lost them, though there he had bomber cannons. Wow, what a game. TaToH takes the first game. We hope we get 4 more games like that, but I mean, I was about to be like, man, DauT is on it today. DauT is with it, and he is, but TaToH is just on another level.
Yeah, what a great game. This hold, and then realizing, okay, what's my next step? I need to secure that gold. Next castle at the top gets to hand cannoneers. Oh, that was just beautiful from TaToH. Decision making and giving himself more and more of a chance to stay in the game.
TaToH had no map control in the early game. He lost all of his fish. DauT had the fish. TaToH was 20 villagers behind in Castle Age. DauT had 40, 50 pikemen around. TaToH still able to get value from his cap, even though those 50 pikemen were out there. Just crazy, crazy stuff here from TaToH. So, again, we kind of had time to talk about it because DauT fought on till he was on his dying breath. Hopefully for DauT, that's not a mental blow for him. This was always going to be a long series. There was never a world where DauT could have predicted he was going to 3-0 TaToH, right? So he should have expected to lose some games today. I hope that doesn't affect him too much.
Yeah, I think he is a guy that can shake it off. Obviously, he knew how far ahead he was, and he will have to ask himself questions like, oh, what happened? What went wrong there? And, well, ideally, he does that after the set is done.
Yep. Okay.
This is interesting.
So we're speculating, and we knew DauT would go for his number 1 pick, Chinese on El Dorado. TaToH goes for a later pick in Sicilians, and there's been a whole lot of conversation recently on these all-ins and these YOLO plays with the Sicilians. So on a map, Nili, where we have seen the Chinese, the Dravidians, the Japanese, the Malians, the Malay maybe, dominate. TaToH comes in, one of his late-round picks with the Sicilians. What are you thinking could happen here? Is there a way to play this normally, or does TaToH have to have some type of tricky play planned?
It has to be the tricky play, right? Sicilians, their biggest bonus is the more food on their farms, but you're not really farming on this map at all.
Yeah.
So this has to be a low eco all-inish playstyle. The only thing is like you try to dungeon rush and play a normal feudal age, but the distance from the center towards your opponent is so short. I think you can just go for the aggression.
It's funny. I mean, this is so wild to me. It's just because these two players are so brilliant for our scene. Game 1, okay, was a late pick from DauT to break an early pick from TaToH. It was like pick 5 versus pick 2. DauT almost made it happen. Now pick 5 for TaToH versus pick 1 here from DauT. But then it's also DauT who, like, of all the pro players with this new pudding meta with the dungeon, DauT understands it the most. He's done it a ton the last couple weeks.
Oh man, this is going to be really interesting. And how is DauT scouting? That's a big question mark. Is he pushing in all 4 deer? Feels very likely. And then he has to be super active. Where are the gold? Oh, that's a bit of a problem for DauT. Gold on stone on 2 different sides.
Yeah.
So it's tricky to scout both of them at the same time.
Yeah, and both players have their stones and gold spread out. But as a reminder for those that are really interested here and might forget, that's it for the players, right? And then the rest of the stone and gold is in the middle, and the rest of the stone and gold is always visible to players at all times. So, you know, there's a ton to talk about here. The one thing I want to add is that every win on El Dorado has always been on the back of having more fishing ships on the outside. Now, we've yet to see Sicilians played, but TaToH can't just YOLO dungeon and make sergeants here and forget about the fish, in my opinion, because the fish is too important.
The thing is, if he dungeon rushes the center and DauT's gold, TaToH automatically wins the water because DauT can't build fire galleys without gold.
That's a fair point. But how many fire galleys can DauT make before TaToH's in Castle Age? Because what makes the sergeant strong is fast castle. Right?
I actually think like feudal age could also be a play. Like feudal age dungeons.
All in feudal. Yeah. Like all-in scouts make so much feudal age army and fishing ships that you're not going to struggle against the sergeants. Now, what I have felt when watching Arabia games with the you pudding strat. Now we are assuming TaToH is going to do that. He may not. It might just be mind games. But what I have felt is that feudal age units need to have like a 4-to-1 ratio in numbers to have a chance against sergeants with the first armor upgrade, because I think a scout's doing 1 damage and an archer's doing 1 damage a hit against the Castle Age sergeant.
Oh, that was close. Whew. That could have been walled in here.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, that would be a big deal, especially against strategy which has a lot of mind games associated with it. DauT needs to have that scout out there to know what's happening.
Thing is, though, like, Chinese are so good on this map that your villager advantage is so big and your income. Look at that. DauT is 400 resources ahead.
Yeah.
That he should be able to get maybe to even the first 2 archers before TaToH even reaches. No. It's not that big, but he will have an archery range pretty quickly.
Well, look what DauT's doing, though. I think that is a sneak villager to get a dock up close to where TaToH may... Wait, what?
DauT is contesting the middle. Makes lots of sense, right? Because TaToH ideally wants to have his first dungeon in the center.
DauT's going to wall the middle?
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to wall it up and build a mining camp there. So he's going to save the 2 tiles of gold for later. This is uncommon. This is not something we've seen yet. TaToH will see it, though. TaToH will see the vills, and he might be a little confused why DauT is out there right now.
No, I think it makes lots of sense. I thought TaToH would actually try to go for the center. And if you have the first dungeon there, the push gets really easy for TaToH. And that's why DauT is trying to prevent that.
Well, I mean, don't you then just leave yourself exposed, though? Like, can't the dungeon still go up and then just deny all the gold from you if you're DauT?
You can't just build another mining camp a bit further back.
Yeah, I guess that's
it's
true.
impossible that one dungeon controls everything.
Okay. Well, DauT's made a nice little cozy spot for himself, I have to say. And, if he does have to leave the middle, then he'll still have the gold elsewhere. Behind this, he has the second dock. Doesn't have the wood for the fire galley yet. It seems like it's just going to be water from DauT to start. I actually like it because we know that TaToH's not going to have the potential to protect his fish if he's going for fast castle.
TaToH doesn't have a mill.
Disaster!
Disaster!
Where
no marked it.
It's just so uncommon, right? Like, normally you have a mill, but this is El Dorado. I assume he would have tried to place the market already, and it didn't work.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's making the mill on the shoreline.
Oh, and that will take so long.
Oh, man.
Oh, and he has the resources to click up pretty soon.
All right, so will be delayed. The positive for TaToH, though, is that he will have a few more villagers on the back of this, right? Because he's still producing vills. There's the dungeon, and then there's a counter tower here from DauT. Now, the risk for DauT, obviously, is not really the tower war. It's when TaToH reaches Castle Age, the sergeants are incredibly strong. And then the dungeon's stronger as well. So the dungeon always wins against the tower.
Nice snipe.
Yeah, that scout's actually going to be really annoying. I like that play from DauT.
Oh!
Nice snipe from TaToH.
And yeah, there will be simply so many more arrows.
Yeah,
for
you
TaToH.
can fit more vills inside. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
TaToH, no fire galleys. DauT's got 5 fishing ships. He needs to continue to add more. DauT brought the fight to the middle. He said, hey, I'm here. Come and get me. And I'm a little worried for him because of that. But he does still have the other golds and stones available at his base to work with over time.
I think it's a mistake of DauT to keep the 5 villagers into the tower there. He will always lose the tower.
Yeah, always.
And now there's, advantage is he's idling 5 vills while TaToH is idling 9 vills.
Yeah, that's true. And, maybe there's an argument that you only need to really be scared when you see the first sergeant. I'm just concerned because DauT's going to have the fire, but he could lose so much economy to the sergeant numbers. Like 3 or 4 sergeants could kill all of his villagers, and he's not fully walled at home either.
Oh. Spearman, TaToH, did he not know where DauT was before? Okay, that's a sloppy spearman then.
Yeah, just lost the spearman there. And Spearman might have been helpful. TaToH is going to make his next dungeon on the other side. DauT, you gotta run. DauT has to run.
That's so good. Yeah. We aren't far away from being walled in here, right?
Yeah, seriously. Especially with TaToH. Like, I think TaToH could place a gate or two soon.
What is DauT going for? He's going for scouts for now.
I think he wants to go light cap. He's got 8 fishing ships, right? So I still think double stable light cap can do it. But again, it's the numbers thing we talked about. Losing 8 villagers, though, in the middle would not help matters here if you're DauT. I think you ideally have to run, like, now. He's being so weirdly stubborn here with the tower. What's the reasoning for this? Just to delay TaToH, maybe?
Yeah, feels like it.
Oh.
Spearman out now. We'll deal with the scout. But now it's 2 dungeons shooting.
He's got to run. I mean, sergeants are slow, right? So you could just delete the palisade and run. But if there's ever a time to do it, it's now, DauT. You got to get out of here.
He tries to. Villager pathing, not the greatest one. Sergeants coming in, trying to intercept. And their damage output in Castle Age, not too bad.
Yep. 8 base damage. And then it's 75 HP. This is... like, how would you feel if you were Pudding right now and you saw this was happening in a tournament game? Yeah, I would feel
proud.
so... Yeah, I'd feel so proud. But I got to say, like, DauT has done a good job with the fish. He has done a horrible job with his scouts. He's lost like 3 or 4 scouts already.
Yeah. KD is 7-4. Eco KD 5-1. DauT is trying to wall in his gold. Is the full knight play the way to go? Right now, he's not even queuing knights.
Yeah, it doesn't have a ton. Usually you want monks in combination with other things. So DauT adds the monastery. And there's another dungeon
The
now.
gold is not safe enough.
Yeah. This is the problem with it, right? It's like you can't stop the sergeant, and then the sergeants can make the dungeon. Also, a fun little side note to this, TaToH is actually mining primarily stone in the middle. So TaToH could eventually build a castle. Now, that's obviously a lot more expensive, and TaToH eco elsewhere. Like, he's going to run out of food eventually here. He's just got the turkeys now.
That's tricky. I think you don't really go for too much, though. I think you probably just constantly buy food. So
Yeah.
that's at like 220.
DauT needs a light cap upgrade. DauT needs to be researching light cap here. Like, just regular scouts, you're just not getting as much value from the fights. And I like full light cap, and he will have the food to make light cap because of the fish. So that is actually doable for him. If he can delay with some towers and maybe make another stable here in a second, I think DauT could eventually stop the sergeants because TaToH just won't have the food eco to make much more beyond, let's say, 10 or so.
Yeah, and that's the big difference to Arabia, right? DauT simply has 9 workers more than you would see on Arabia here.
Yep. Yeah, if this was on Arabia, like if there was no water on this version, TaToH, I think, would have won the game already. DauT wouldn't even be in Castle Age. But the water aspect has been the most important in El Dorado, and it adds like a level of dynamic to this map, which it wouldn't otherwise have. It would be more tower heavy towards the middle. And DauT's just going to attack the dungeon here. It kind of feels like DauT's comfortable at the moment. Like, he knows that TaToH can't kill him.
Gets some kills.
Comfort-
TaToH 13 pop behind.
Yeah, comfortable might be the wrong word. You lost the first game, and this is by no means easy to deal with. But, oh, man, it's going to get so much more fun. TaToH's still mining stone. TaToH can drop a castle soon. And he's Sicilian, so he builds the castle so much faster.
Where do you need a castle? You don't really need one. I think 2 dungeons, 3 dungeons might be better than a castle somewhere.
No, you drop it right on that TC, right? Like, right next to the stable.
What are you killing?
Well,
I think a TC is cheaper than a castle, and you're not killing anything else. I'm not sure if this castle is that great, honestly.
okay, that's a fair point, right? I mean, kind of feels like you need more. Funnily enough, if the little marsh train wasn't there, you could place it even more to the left. Yeah, the only spot that would really do damage to DauT immediately would be the area in the back, which DauT is safe in right now. And TaToH may be realizing this. He's like, wait a second. Can I get this closer? He's going to drop it there. All this will be interesting.
I think the castle is not achieving anything.
DauT might think the same. Light cap from DauT, loop in. DauT knows TaToH's on the front. TaToH has the quick wall. He has produced a lot of spearmen from his dungeons. Castle, at the very least, will accomplish making it more awkward for DauT to produce out of his stable, his monastery, and then the TC obviously could go down. But DauT is underneath the dungeon right now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man. They just can repair. 95 stone still.
DauT's making life awkward for the eco that TaToH does have, though, right? We got villagers building on the front. We got villagers in and out of dungeons and repairing here. And DauT has the food eco to continue to make more light cap. DauT might be no TC gaming pretty soon. Now, he's making a new one. But the key for DauT's the fish. And he's got 11 fishing ships, and he's still adding more behind this. DauT is doing this, Nilly.
Oh, look at the stone of DauT. He's prepared. He wants to make something happen. Is there a way for TaToH to scout it? His sergeant's actually running into the builds.
Yeah, I mean... DauT could pull the rest. I mean, DauT just killed all of TaToH's villagers, and he could take out the other dungeon. You're absolutely right. DauT could get access to gold again soon. And
TaToH double the pop.
TaToH
double the
sees
population.
TaToH sees the vills. I don't know what you do. You got to bring everything you can, all hands on deck, but the sergeants are so slow. I think DauT's going to get this castle up, Nilly.
Looks like it. He can easily, like, quick wall it, right? There's no stone for TaToH to counter it. And then DauT has access to golden stone. I think even one tile further in could have been an option for him.
Yeah. And DauT even bringing more vills preemptively, just in case. Look at that.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Yeah, and he knows this castle has to go up. So it makes sense to not underpull vills here.
And the GG's called because TaToH knows there's no way he can stop that castle. There's no way he can damage DauT's eco. And DauT, with some cool plays. It was a little scrappy at times, but he was cool as a cucumber, as they say, Nilly. And he just knew, I will have the eco lead. You might have the sergeants. But the difference, as you said, between this map and Arabia, where we're seeing the U-putting strategy actually work, is simply the outside, which DauT took perfect advantage of.
I think TaToH, if you build a castle, which I disagree with still, it has to be in the center.
So you just make it so DauT can never get golds?
Yeah,
as opposed to hoping the dungeons actually protect the gold. That's true, because the dungeons, they weren't doing enough to fully control the gold. Do you think if TaToH builds a castle in the middle, do you think he still dies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think DauT's eco was too good.
Yeah, I agree. I think DauT's eco was too good. DauT hadn't even farmed yet at this point. And DauT's 60 eco, TaToH 29. So scores 1-1 here. Both games in this series have had really interesting approaches. And DauT will be happy. We talked about needing a rebound because the first game was so close for him at times. And that's exactly what he got there. So well played.
And that's why we love those two players, right? And that's why we love RTS. It for me, like, this really shows why I love Age of Empires so much. With other RTS that were really popular for lots of years, we never see something like this, right? So unique strategies, so different approaches, and the very deep understanding of those beautiful players.
Yeah, and someone's asking because they're realizing the water's important. Is it possible to win water and still do the strat? No, it's not. It's not possible. Like, you would not be able to have the dungeon numbers, the sergeant numbers, the castle time. Everything is so at the limit. In order to get to what TaToH did at this game, you simply just have to give up water. And that's why the approach from TaToH, while it looks good and it feels strong with controlling the stone and gold in the middle, actually, when you really break it down, actually has some huge vulnerabilities. Great game, great series here, Nilly. I agree with you. This game's amazing. There's a reason why we're all still here, right?
Yeah, interesting. So Japanese, highly valued by DauT apparently, right? He could have gone for Portuguese, could have gone for Dravidians.
He did pick Dravidians on his draft, but DauT opted to skip them here. So my feeling, and I've expressed this so many times, people are probably sick of hearing it, is that Dravidians is the best. TaToH picked Malay first, so clearly he disagrees. And then DauT picked Japanese before Dravidians and hasn't played Dravidians here. So players going for their comfort picks here. And very interesting shape to the to the middle island, Nilly. This is the first time we've seen one quite like this, and I imagine it could make fighting for the middle a whole lot more awkward here.
I think I had something very similar against MBL, and I tried to, like, 4 mangonel push against his 5 guard towers.
Yeah, I remember that.
Center.
that was the most MBL defense ever. I felt for you because it looked good, and then all of a sudden you just weren't able to push anymore.
Why did I do it?
All right, Nilly. We didn't have to bring that up. So Malay Japanese, Malay advanced faster to the next stage. Yeah, some people were saying it looks like an apple core. That's amazing.
Yeah. Apple core is what I see as well. Some people said TIE Fighter.
Yeah, that's reasonable. But apple core is perfect, actually.
Yeah.
Well, Malay advanced faster, so you could do some tricky things here, and we're probably going to have to see TaToH utilize that, because I think if you go for, I guess, more standard timings on a map where there's a lot of fish, while the Malay do have some fishing bonuses themselves, their bonuses are largely centered around the fish traps. And the Japanese fishing ships are stronger and a bit more efficient, so I don't like the galley idea, but I have seen people try to go like 2 or 3 galleys fast feudal and then add fishing ships behind, and I could see that being an option here.
I think against a lot of other ships, it is an option. Against Japanese, you're simply not guaranteed to do any damage. So I think this is absolutely like wasting your civilization.
Okay.
Because Japanese, they're so happy. Like, oh, you tried to take my fishing ships? Come and get me.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to kill Japanese fish, it needs to be 2 things. The only thing that's a possibility in feudal age is the galleys, which, like you said, still going to struggle a lot, which is why you don't like it. But then the next option is Castle Age fires and beyond, right? So it's like, and we've normally seen fast castle into fire ships. A strategy that will be more viable for either player because of the Apple Core map is transporting to the middle and then walking across to dock the other side. Like, that is super possible for both now.
Also, Apple Core map means longest rushing distance to your opponent. And TaToH, he is playing the fast feudal age.
Ooh.
So he wants to play the fast galley opening. And the distance could not be longer.
Yeah, seriously. And that is the risk you take with migration. It is normally quite a long journey, nearly, but and now as a counter thing on that point, if TaToH, let's say, doesn't do as much damage as he would have liked to if a generation wasn't so apple core-y, right? That also applies to DauT. So if the strategy is to go fast feudal, a couple galleys, and then add a whole bunch of fishing ships behind it for TaToH, he's going to have a lot more time with his own fishing ships, provided that DauT doesn't dock the front.
Tristan, he's going transporter. He's going to transporter an apple core to the other side and try to go for fire galley, short distance.
Who?
TaToH will.
What are you seeing right now that says transport?
Loom.
Ooh. Is it possible he got loom because he didn't have the food to go up?
Please no.
I'm just saying, like, because it still feels like a really early loom timing. He's going to add the second dock. I mean, he is at the limit in terms of resources. This is, even adding the second dock might delay things, but I guess in an ideal world, both of his docks will be up.
I think docking through the center could have been an option.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though. It is an option, but they only see so much of the map, right? And so I think it's really hard. Like, imagine what we'd be saying if the middle wasn't so narrow. We'd be like, what is he doing? Why is he transporting? But yeah, fast feudal. I mean, let's see how this works out. A really important aspect of this, in most cases, is I think you have to send both your galleys to the same side. TaToH's clearly not doing that, though, because his docks are on opposite sides. So I think he's going to send one to the north and then one to the east.
No. And that obviously means they have to shoot quite a bit. Normal damage, I think, is 10 against a fishing ship. It's of Japanese, it's 6. So 20 shots to kill one.
Yeah, so if you're going to go galleys, I feel like you got to go same side with your galleys. You don't want to be split up. Because a fishing ship is just as efficient if they're taking on water at 6 HP or being brand new off the dock at 120 HP. There's no difference in efficiency based on HP in units. If that was the case, we'd have a very different game.
TaToH goes for 4 galleys at least.
Okay.
We've seen approaches where people go for 2 galleys and then add fishing ships. But, like, the income has to be so much better for DauT. DauT goes for dock number 4. He will accept losses.
Yeah, and the idea is, especially now, because DauT knows, because TaToH's up to feudal, what's happening. DauT knows I just need to produce a couple fires, and if I defend my fish, I'm ahead in fish, right? So I'm really surprised. I mean, yeah, okay, TaToH's a bit further away from his opponent than maybe he would have liked, but you're always going to be far away, and we have not seen this galley approach really pay off in most cases.
Yeah, I truly believe this is a strategy that we have seen on other migration generations, but TTL migration, this is a bad strategy. And I actually talked with TaToH about this map quite a bit and got some coaching from him after like my Silver League practice. And he, once upon a time at least, agreed with me that this should be being played as Cost Castle.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I've been saying every single cast. Maybe it's a matchup thing for TaToH, but remember, this was the first pick from TaToH. And he just hasn't killed a fishing ship yet, right? It's taken so long. And right around the time he's going to kill his first one, which it looks like he's going to do, very well played, there's going to be fires out, and now suddenly he's going to need to back away.
And he won't even kill the first.
Wow. And you know, now TaToH's going to add his own fires behind. And DauT already has 4 fires. I think DauT's in an amazing spot here in game number 3.
And it's impossible to micro galleys at 2 sides.
Yep.
So it's so much easier for DauT to play this. And now he still has a fishing ship advantage. TaToH will catch up though, but DauT simply already having the unit that he wants to go for in the long run.
Yeah, agreed with you. And res collected should be better for DauT, and it is, right? Because of the fishing ships and the higher eco approach here. So just, we're left with some questions here. And if TaToH thought that, right? If TaToH expressed that to you when you guys talk strategy, there might even be a little bit of kicking yourself now. Like, why did I try and be so fancy here? What's wrong? Why did I do this?
And this, remember, this is his first pick.
Yeah, seriously, it's his very first SIB pick. He put a lot of hope on this. It's not like a last round pick. It's also his home map too. This isn't DauT's home map. So, I mean, it's hard to really discuss home maps with both these two because they're both so well rounded. So it's not like, you know, DauT is expected to be poor on this map compared to TaToH, but honestly, in all of TTL leading up towards this, I was more critical of DauT's migration play than most maps, and I was less critical than TaToH's migration play on most maps. So it's kind of reversed here. I really like DauT's position.
DauT already sold 100 stone, bought himself some food here to go up, and now we can see TaToH trying to buy as well.
But what's the Navy count going to be like? I mean, TaToH did catch up in fishing ships. But it will be 5 fires for TaToH soon, and it'll be 12 for DauT, and DauT will have the dock upgrades too. So really good position for DauT to be able to win potentially both sides of water. This is where, if TaToH knew the number difference, he would want to have demos on both sides, just waiting for big hits.
Kind of hoping that the opponent does the mistake there. And DauT also won dock ahead. Oh, tricky. First transporter now for TaToH. DauT still okay with playing on his own island.
Yeah, and you know, that is notable here because TaToH's way back, if he's going to lose his own fish, would be a forward dock. And he's going to have that opportunity here in a second. There's a lot of fishing ships right there on the other side. So no barracks or anything from TaToH. He's probably not going to build up towards other things in land. He's just going to go monastery in mid. But I think the second he sees that shoreline, he goes with a villager to dock there as well.
Have to love it.
No war galley upgrade for TaToH.
Will be tricky. Oh, what? Did he forget? Did he queue behind dock maybe? That's a problem with 3 docks. Oh yeah, he had it behind a fire galley.
Yeah, and while he is taking a fight on the other side, the ship gets stuck for DauT. That happens, unfortunately. I guess that evens things out for the Treb that got stuck in the first game. Demo from TaToH. Hoping to get hits before DauT gets upgrades. That's a good demo from TaToH. Not bad.
I still love it. And DauT now with the pause, I would assume. Not sure. He should know that, like, it is a bit buggy at the edge on this migration generation.
Yeah,
like,
it happens.
You can't really patrol next to the shore. You need to click a bit on the outside and then try to patrol. Same goes for moving away. So this is, if he prepared a lot and if he played this map a lot, something he should know, if that's the reason for the pause at all.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything in the room. It also could be DauT needed to go kick himself for a second. Okay, says they keep getting stuck, can't control them. Which one's top? TaToH says, okay, I stop. DauT says, thank you. That's very kind of TaToH. He's just going to let DauT run away, I suppose. But anyways, DauT is building a second TC on the island here. Speaking of things we haven't seen a lot in the group stage, DauT's not even going to the mainland with the TCs here.
And now an 18-minute castle age barracks from him. really weird play as well. And yeah, TaToH won't get too much done with this raiding group at the right-hand side. Left-hand side, DauT now keeps a better distance to the main island.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, though. Remember TaToH not having the Navy numbers? Well, TaToH's been the aggressor with Navy, and TaToH is a forward dock, and TaToH hasn't lost any fish. So it's actually okay for him. And also, TaToH has villagers on land, which DauT hasn't prioritized here, at least as of yet.
First relic is in there, and should get at least 3, if not all 5 relics.
Yeah, also, what I'd like to see is you can use your monks to convert ships from DauT. This is a really awkward position for DauT right now. He thinks he's just going to clear up the dock, no problem, but he might need to pull away with all those ships if TaToH starts to convert here, which he's not doing.
Actually, the dock goes down in a reasonable time. I think demos could have been a nice option. Tries to go for the conversions. Do we see them? One of them. Second one, still possible.
Okay, dock goes down. Dock goes down. TaToH's still trying to defend his fish. DauT's Navy advantage paying off in both areas now, actually. And DauT, having added the barracks at home, now is in a position to add the stable. DauT's going to show up to the middle with scouts. He now knows there's monks out there, so that could really surprise TaToH. TaToH's fires finding some potential kills from DauT as DauT switches into more and more galleys. I am so confused with the focus on galleys from these two.
Yeah, this is like... I think going for war galleys here is not the right play. It's just so tricky to micro. You can't really patrol in because if your opponent just patrols in with fire galleys, you're getting completely owned.
Yeah, and no Bodkin arrow yet for DauT, but obviously, you know, sometimes you just feel like you need a little bit more as a player, right? And when you have the fire ship lead, and when you see monks, or maybe it was even seeing the dock and knowing villagers could build things, DauT wanted a bit of range. TaToH has the TC up in the north of the apple core. He's going to go for another dock here. DauT doesn't know the TC's there, obviously. He's going to come to the middle now with scouts, but no villagers. So, no villagers to build anything in the middle yet for him.
War galley scouts the next dock. Scouts or Lightcav are coming in. TaToH likely to get at least 4, if not all 5 relics.
Yeah, well, we'll see about the other ones as TaToH makes a gate to protect the monk. And DauT just continues to sit here. He's going to lose a light cav.
I did not see that gate coming. Oh, that was brilliant.
What a sick play from TaToH. Obviously had no clue DauT was going to show up like this. And in the moment, drops the gate. And I mean, DauT could be really stubborn with monks sometimes. I think this could even be a conversion. That had been converting for a long time. So now you've got no villagers in the middle. And now your opponent has 2 light cav.
Yeah. That makes it really tricky for you to land now.
Yeah, seriously. Do you think, like, obviously epic play from TaToH, but do you think that's just classic DauT stubbornness there to continue to attack the gate? Because
the second one.
Yeah.
No, the second monk. The first one I could see because, like, you don't know how many villagers are really getting on there. And you know that gates have really poor armor. You think you can still kill it. But the second monk, I think, was, like, no chance. That he actually gets the kill.
Well, DauT getting loom now before he brings villagers to the middle. It's good that he's doing so. DauT pressuring TaToH's Navy, TaToH on water, I guess, to the left side. And right now, it's 6 fishing ships for DauT. It's 4 for TaToH. So DauT has the lead there. And DauT's even adding more fish. So DauT has the Navy superiority. But what he doesn't have is the middle. And TaToH knows that. And TaToH is actually going to try and drop a castle here in a second.
Ooh, wants to redock more. That's an interesting castle. Might think, okay, I'm up to Imperial Age before you, most likely, so Trap Wars will be fine for me. Interesting that he was that heavy on stone.
DauT, you got to back away. You know TaToH's going to have a demo in this dock. You know he's going to have a demo every single time.
And DauT is just eating the conversions. Demo!
Oh, big demo from TaToH. TaToH's fire galleys there as well. And oh, man. I'm worried for DauT. He's going into war galleys again here. And it's just, he's on 4 of them, right? He's lost so many to fires. Yeah. And he's just going to commit to lots of war galleys on the water. You know, I remember DauT did this in group stage a lot, actually. And he won a game with running as Vikings. He also won a game against DauT as Koreans. But in those games, or not against DauT, against Daniel. But in those games, what the opponent did not do was do the thing that we'd seen a lot, Nilly, and it's just TC the middle and expand your eco.
That game against Running was a really good migration game as well.
Yeah.
Elite berserks out of multiple castles being produced and reclaiming the middle was so beautiful.
Yeah, and that's got to be the hope for DauT to somehow get the middle. It's very rare you see 2 TCs on that starting island, but you're going to run out of resources much faster if you've got your 76 villagers there. Look at TaToH. He found the castle from DauT. Are you kidding me? He actually found it with that scout.
And I think TaToH won't do any more units here. And we'll just think about imping now.
Yeah, makes sense. You're melee. You see a castle. You no doubt is hoping to protect this area. It would make sense for TaToH to use the units that he does have to protect the area, to drop another castle maybe. But also, now that you have the forward docks, it would make sense for TaToH to continue to play in towards fires. And down goes DauT's fishing ships here. It just... What is War Galley offering DauT right now? It just doesn't offer anything.
It's a bit of a better unit against the monks, right? But why are you even trying to contest the monks?
Well, in DauT's mind, because I know how DauT thinks, he's probably sassily thinking, well, Lykev doesn't work against monks, so I need to... I might as well use War Galley. Oh, man, such a good job from TaToH here on his home map. We had some questions about the start, but he, you know, the main thing that we don't really break down because we just talk about potential, but the main thing that TaToH's brought to this game is momentum. He was the first one to attack. He was the first one to Castle Age. He has been dictating the pace of this game, and DauT has just not been able to really get control of it yet.
Ooh, and not a too wild castle here by TaToH. He could have built it closer, kind of in range of the castle of DauT to instantly force a trap ward. Some people would have committed there, but TaToH knows, I have so much water control, I can just go mass fast fires, and this will be tricky enough for you to deal with.
Yeah, so tricky for DauT. And DauT going to bring his main navy over. Largely, it looks like to even just protect the TC area. Like, he's not really advancing. He's going to lose water elsewhere. You know what's bad? When your farmers are getting hit by fire ships. That is when things have not gone according to plan here. I guess they didn't have a grill. I like to grill corn, so I don't know if that's the Age of Empires equivalent. Here comes a transport from TaToH with some karambits. They're going to go right for those farms. Oh, I'm so worried for DauT right now, Nilly.
Oh, that's ugly. Luckily, he has double TC set up, right? So I don't think karambits will achieve too much. Maybe 2-3 villager kills.
Yeah, and here comes DauT with his fires and his galleys, even getting ballistics now for his 6 galleys. TaToH 20 seconds off from War Galley. Waits with a demo for the fires in front. That is going to be a juicy demo from TaToH, and then fast fire ship should mean he can clear up everything that DauT has here on water as DauT is reacting to the Karambit Warriors.
Oh, yeah. And that's simply the macro problem, right? And that's what I said. With War Galleys, you can't really micro on both sides, and that's why it is so much easier to play the Fire Galley and upgrades.
I mean, this isn't new, right, Nilly? Like, all of Gold, all the games at Plat, there's a theme, right? But, you know, DauT never really lost games when he was going for the galleys. And I think that's part of it. If he got the results, he probably felt like the galleys really have some benefit.
Yeah, but, like, I don't expect them to see any gold games that I wasn't involved in. So,
yeah,
like,
of course.
They didn't spend too much time trying to figure out the meta. Next landing with Karambit.
Yeah, next landing with Karambit's DauT. Again, like you said, double TC, now ballistics. Bodkin, it actually helps against the Karambits, but the worry's got to be land. Where I'm a little surprised TaToH didn't make Trebs yet. He was in Imp for so long. He could have had 4 Treb stack already.
Yeah, maybe he felt like he couldn't instantly go for a trap war, and he couldn't really protect them if he moved out. So
yeah, possible.
Going for the other upgrades and simply committing to more ships that cost the same resources.
Yeah, also chemistry for TaToH coming in, so he could be thinking bombard cannons. DauT has created some fires of his own, so he's still okay. Awkward, but he has gold, he has snow, and he has resources in the middle. His farming eco is awkward because of the Karambit landings. Great job from TaToH there. Again, it just hit TaToH just trying to hold control in whatever ways he can. He's making DauT work for everything.
DauT is doing a reasonable job of getting villagers onto the main island, though.
Yeah.
It feels like he only landed like 3 minutes ago, and he already has what feels like 30 villagers in the center.
Yeah, very good point. DauT also prioritizing Trebs. DauT prioritizing ranges. where he's going to be making crossbow. He has bracer already. TaToH doesn't even have bodkin. So TaToH, you know, kind of giving DauT some breathing room here, and DauT has taken it. As TaToH's going to land to drop a tower on the island, though. Oh, God, this guy's so annoying.
Oh, and upgrading guard tower. That's so sick. And now another landing. Another guard tower.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, DauT needs to have Navy here then, so this stops happening. A tower from TaToH. Yeah, I like that. That's a bit closer. That way fires can't hit it. DauT in full evacuation mode then to get out of here. I mean, the good news for DauT is he was going to run out of resources here eventually. So with the 2 TCs, like, he's really chopped through a lot of his wood, but the problem would be that golden stone.
Yeah, he needs to come up with an answer there. But the guard towers are so close. I think he can still kill them with his...
What in the world?
fires.
TaToH's so fixated on that starting little island, he never really had the trebs. DauT has the trebs. There's no bomber cannons yet from TaToH. TaToH was an imp for 3 minutes faster, and DauT has new life in the middle.
2 traps though. You need some repair. Bombard cannon 50% away. Crossbows trying to protect this. It won't be the prettiest situation for TaToH. I still see a world where he can hold it.
Yeah, Karambits will be a nice distraction. Let's see what DauT does when he sees the bomber cannon. DauT can be, as I described earlier, a tad stubborn in some moments. Here, I feel like you've got to just pack up your trebs. Yeah, you volley once at the bomber cannon, but then I think you just pack it up. Don't try and trep uphill here.
3 against 3 will make it tricky. Karambit numbers are rising, and it's just... DauT constantly needs to move, constantly needs to micro, and TaToH can decide when he wants to watch and when he wants to engage.
Yeah, both players lose the trap. Bomber cannon can't exactly move forward because of DauT's presence with the crossbows. Also, the Navy from DauT staying next to the shoreline. Towers from TaToH still going up, though. DauT needs to do that, or deal with that. And DauT, what he does have is he has, like, a really good solid army to combine with his trebuchets here. TaToH doesn't really have that. The Karambit warriors are not elite. They don't have attack upgrades. I think TaToH would need more. And as we say that, we have elite and TaToH actually using the fires against the Treb here.
Oh, an interesting committal. Also good bombard cannon shots there. And losing quite some crossbows. Oh, TaToH, can he hold this one?
Feels like he's getting closer and closer to holding this nearly now that he's got 2 bombard cannons. DauT is still trying to force the issue here. He does Treb down a bombard cannon. It's elite Karambit now. TaToH's going to dive.
He's committing, and those crossbow numbers are simply not enough. Bombard cannon can go in for it as well. Do you want to go for the trap? It seems yes. Loses another bombard cannon though.
DauT adding a cannon galleon though, which he just lost to something. I'm not even sure what killed it. Might have been the Treb. But cannon galleon could maybe be an avenue for both players to consider here. But DauT's trebuchet numbers are going to go down. He still is not pushing TaToH. TaToH doesn't have gold? Huh?
That's really weird, right? He's building another castle, though. He knows another gold spot, is selling a lot of wood, gets to reasonable numbers again, but also lost his siege workshop on the front. So right now, 1 bombard cannon and stuck with that one.
Yeah, really, really messy stuff. What a fun game here. And like, it's a best of 5, right? So whoever loses this still has an opportunity to come back. But with how back and forth this series has been, it really does feel like, and especially this game even, there's been pros and cons the whole way through for both. It feels like the winner of this one is going to be able to go into the next game with a whole lot less pressure on themselves.
Yeah, certainly. You can lose another game. You still know, okay, there are maps to come. And what do you think about DauT? Maybe adding like 3-4 samurai to protect his traps better.
Yeah, I mean, the Arbalest upgrade is the first thing you must prioritize, in my opinion. You're adding, extra attack and just a lot more potency to the units you've already invested into, right? But in all fairness, he struggled with the food. He doesn't have a lot of farms that are working now because of the towers that went up from TaToH. TaToH has all 5 relics. He has access to bomber cannon, and DauT does not. DauT needs something crazy here. Like, he really needs to make this happen soon. I do not see this getting any better for his civilization and for his position.
Cannon Galleons now dealing damage to the castle. Another trap tries to sneak around as well. DauT. How many resources does he have on the main island? I think he can still play on for another 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's pulled his trebs over. He's repairing his castle. Now, the Cannon Galleons have 13 range. Elite Cannon Galleon would be worth it here. You go up to 15 range, I think, with Elite. And that would help you to sail in there and snipe the Trebs. There's Arbalest for DauT.
DauT now coming in with a fast fire at the bottom against the 3 Cannon Galleons. Is he actually seeing it?
I think he clicked them to where they were sitting originally. And, okay, there he goes. Yeah, TaToH could lose all those Cannon Galleons.
Yeah, very likely, actually.
Oh, yeah, there's no way he can really save them now. Well played, DauT. TaToH just realized that. What a game.
We have no harbor upgrade for Melee. Something that's desperately missing.
Yeah, that's true. TaToH will save the 1 Cannon Galleon. Well played to him. DauT's on Arbalest now. I would love to see DauT, if he ever makes a push versus a castle, be on more than 3 Trebs.
Traps exposed. Oh, no.
Oh, bad timing for that statement. Oh, no. There's no way you save those. There's too many Karambit warriors. DauT! The Trebs and the Karambits could just run away. Beautiful play from TaToH.
And the Karambits can even take the engagement? Yeah, at least that's what TaToH's thinking.
Yeah, I don't think DauT's expecting it. Like, DauT is clearly focused on some other things here, and the Karambit warriors taking a reasonable trade against the Arbalest here. So 3 Trebs killed, and then maybe a third of the Arbalest group.
Okay, pretty sick. Castle got 10 kills in there as well, but simply resetting the trap count is so good for TaToH.
Yeah, there's Thalassocracy, by the way, so now the docks are firing arrows, which helps so much. Bracer upgrade in too from TaToH, who's happy to stick with Karambit warriors and bombard cannons in the middle. And then obviously neither player's forgotten about water. But again, it's just like, it's gotten worse for the Japanese, right? It was bombard cannons before and Karambits. Now you've got harbors to deal with. And heated shot for TaToH.
That's really good. Bombard cannon even dodged the Arbalest. No, okay, he couldn't save it, but got another 3-4 shots from the castle. And all those Arbalests could die. Karambits, can they squeeze in?
Oh, the repathing. The repathing. TaToH click. You can attack ground with bombard cannons now, though. So TaToH could try, or not bombard cannons, Cannon Galleon, sorry. I thought maybe a little ambitious for me to think that TaToH would be able to do that there. TaToH's taking fights on water on both sides.
Oh, DauT wanted to go for landing. Just lost the transporter.
Ooh.
Not sure what was in there.
Maybe villagers to drop a castle, if I had to guess.
9 villagers, yes.
Yeah. Also, TaToH has quite a few villagers that need work at some location. God, this is so stressful right now. There's so much happening, but TaToH's got the momentum. TaToH has 3 Trebs. He's starting to push DauT, and DauT has no answer to the Trebs.
Oh, yes, villagers apparently. 120 population against 175. DauT taps out. TaToH takes the lead.
Wow, and in a back-and-forth game where we saw different strategies, very different than we had seen in a lot of other games in this season, and very different from what we even expected. It ended up going to Imp, and I think TaToH's mainland control was truly the difference here. His castle positions was blocking off more of the apple core, as we called it. He had more access to gold, more access to wood, stone, and whatnot. And DauT did a great job to take it to Imp, but he was never really able to truly threaten TaToH's fortifications.
5 relics for free, and then you're building 3 light cav, and the result of the 3 light cav is you have 0 light cav, and your opponent has 2 light cav.
Yeah, and like on paper, if you were to say that one player goes monks as the opening in the middle, and then the other player goes light cav as the opening in the middle, the light cav player destroys each and every time. But DauT never had control of the middle. Like, he showed up late with the light cav. Relics had already been collected. Forward docks had already happened from TaToH. It feels like maybe if DauT would have thought ahead a little bit about that he could have caught TaToH off guard and the entirety of the game would have gone different from there.
Also, we have to question the amount of war galleys that we saw and the poor fights they took over and over against the fires.
And in an embrace to spend, I know it sounds ridiculous, but to spend the 100 food, 50 gold on fletching, to spend the 200 food, 100 gold on bodkin, if that doesn't give you benefit, that does just leave you further behind in the embrace, which is already going to be tricky against the Malay. So, TaToH started off the series with an excellent win. Then DauT responded against some cheeky Sicilian forward stuff in game number 2, and now TaToH's responded right back. It's now DauT's turn. What a fun series here.
And yeah, DauT. Oh, I'm excited for the wall now. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's DauT, right? Like, he's going to put up a crazy fight. If DauT picked the map, I'm sure he's got something prepped for us. Here we are, Zawal, and for DauT, who is second place in his group, and people were super pumped to see him doing so well, as he did in every season for what it's worth. DauT needs to win this one, Nilly. Otherwise, he's knocked out of the season in the round of 12. So with Britons versus the Portuguese, what are you thinking right now if you were the Lord?
I think longbows are a nice unit, and Portuguese, they typically don't want to go skirmishes, right? They're so, like, it's the worst unit for you because you're not really using your gold bonus. Monks aren't great against longbows. I think organ guns are not great against longbows. Bombard cannons aren't great. If you go for a big trap war, Britons have advantages there. I think this is a very reasonable pick for DauT.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And, just a small thing, because I personally feel as though Britons are just going to boom, right? Like, 3 TCs makes so much sense if you've got the cheap TCs. The stone position is a dream for the 3rd TC, right? To be able to have that stone right next to the wood line. I think this happens pretty commonly, but, TaToH is maybe a bit further away from the wood in comparison. So I think you can easily go for the eco approach as the Britons, and then adapt from there. If you see a lot of pressure from TaToH, you send a lot more villagers to stone so you can get the castle up early. If you don't see any pressure beyond Z-wall, then you can opt more of a food and wood approach with your eco. So, but I guess like TaToH's got a pressure, right? You don't have the cheap TCs. Longbows could be really terrifying. TaToH's got to break down that wall and do something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so as well. You can't just play Imperial Age no aggression. You wouldn't really have a good answer if you're getting pushed by longbows yourself, and therefore maybe just organ guns. Maybe honestly just build one monk and try to play 3 TC elite scum defense.
Yeah,
that sounds so wrong.
I mean, organ guns should do a pretty decent job against longbows before the upgrades and the mask gets there, right? Because organ guns don't benefit from blacksmith upgrades, and the longbow player would need to research them and build a castle, which we think is probably going to be later because it's going to be more of a boom approach. So I think organs to take map control is good, and optimally big eco into a defensive castle is good for DauT, but the game I referenced, Dogal Veleza, which was Teuton's Britons, so it's a bit different. Dogal had the same game plan I mentioned. 3 TCs with Britons, TC on the stone. You see the pressure from the opponent, and then you shift villagers on the stone, but then you still got to place a good castle. And that was actually Dogal's issue. It was like, he placed a castle which protected 2 of his TCs, but then the 3rd was exposed. You can't place a castle that protects everything. So I wouldn't hate TaToH going organ guns and adapting. I don't know if it would work, but I think that has a higher chance of success. Or more generally, any type of pressure that TaToH would put on gives him a better chance of success than simply going for the boom war.
No, I agree. Okay, we still have time in Dark Age. If you were to put the wall into TTL Season 4, would you make any changes to the map?
Well, something that I'm very interested on is what would happen if villagers could attack the stone walls and break through in feudal. I think that we could see some interesting plays there where people would go fast feudal. I don't know. I think Zawal produced the types of games we wanted with the map pool, right? Because we had no fortress or fortified clearing or arena. It's definitely more 1 TC oriented than I was expecting. So we've seen a lot more monks and unique units, but I think if we were to bring this back, I wouldn't change it. But I am curious on your thoughts.
I haven't thought about it a lot yet. It's just it feels a bit repetitive in the sense that I think we have seen a lot of Portuguese here.
Sure.
And Turks. I was playing a lot of Bohemians, but most people didn't like that one. It felt like the same 6s, and also the play style felt similar in most games.
Yeah.
And I just I didn't think about it long, but what would have been options to make it a bit more diverse? Maybe another gold in the back, Maybe the relics more defensively.
Well, it's tricky because like in terms of diversity, it's really hard when we structure the seasons like this. If you compare it,
Hold on. Sorry.
go ahead.
We have a barracks by DauT?
I like it. I like
Explain.
it because if he straight up booms and gives up full map control behind whatever TaToH goes for, it could be a problem. Could consider going crossbow. Maybe.
Oh, yes, 2 on gold. So, yeah, crossbow fits. Okay, so he plays crossbow and multiple TC over the castle approach.
Over the 3
Okay.
TC, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then continue your thought process.
Yeah, I mean, like, so, like, people brought it up, right? And people brought it up especially before the playoffs. They're like, well, we're seeing the same civs. And it's like, well, of course, for the last 2.5 months, it's been the same map pool. And the strategy we saw in the first 2 weeks of gold is very different from the first 2 weeks of plat. And then even then, in the final weeks of plat, things start to, like, really form a meta. Migration's another example. I think Migration is an incredible map. But it was just like Dravidians, Japanese, Malay, and I'm missing one. Italians, yeah. So some maps, some maps just kind of fall into a situation, and it's always been this way with arena-style maps, where some civs are just way better than others. I personally really, really like how the meta gets formed, and then we come playoffs, and then suddenly it's like, ooh, TaToH had to draft Sicilians. DauT had to draft Goths. Like, that's where the other fringe picks come in. But I think I would prefer to have a different style arena map if I were to change anything. So instead of changing the wall, I would just probably prefer to just have a different type of map instead if I wanted something different than this.
Okay.
So that's my feeling. But yeah, I'm obviously lots of time to think about that, and obviously take feedback from people such as yourself and the community too. So, but that'll be fun to talk about in a couple months once TTL's a little bit further from the mind.
Okay.
So, castle play from TaToH, we've seen this a lot. And the castle will most likely go up towards the wall. The wall does not give vision to any of the players, so it's important that DauT keeps an eye on this. And DauT's thought process essentially delays his town centers more than the straight boom would, but in turn he's going to have more map control. And I like it because if you invest the wood into the archers in the range, yes, it delays your TCs, but you are still going to have the boom lead over the opponent because you're expecting the opponent to go for the castle.
Yeah, it still feels like you have archers now out on the map, and they're not achieving anything for quite some time, except killing some tigers.
Yeah, that's true. I think maybe an alternative could have been you go just 2 TCs right away, but the second TC... Well, no, you go 3 TCs right away, but the third TC is going primarily to stone. Instead of just 1 or 2 and waiting, like that TC is actually dedicated fully to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on stone immediately. That way your castle comes up quickly.
Do you need a castle quickly? Is the big question mark.
Yeah.
I think if you go crossbow mangonel, you will deal with everything that the Portuguese player is throwing at you anyways.
And that's what DauT's doing, yeah. DauT will actually add the siege before... Now, this is where I agree. I think adding the siege before you add the TC, that falls into the category of unnecessary.
Well, he will open with a ram, right? He sees no organ, like he didn't see the castle.
Oh.
And he will simply try to break through.
Oh, well, that's different. I thought it was pure defense. I mean, that's what's fun about this map, right? Is how you can go through the wall that they've gone through, but in a completely different area. TaToH's not going to expect this. This is not common. And TaToH's eco is wide open at home. TaToH doesn't have loom.
Oh, this could be tricky. Just imagine Siege Tower. Oh, would have been it. And DauT, how much to the front does he want to get? Does he want to use the wall that he already started hacking on? Feels like it.
Look at TaToH. He's actually using the scout. This is real weird. But he's using the scout to attack a piece of wall he has not tasked his castle to shoot. So you would think that it would maybe make sense for TaToH to use the scout on the wall, but he's not doing that. I mean, he is. It's just the wrong piece of wall. And now he's going to go through. But he can't go through yet? He didn't hit the right piece. He chose like the worst spot to try and get through. And now he's looking, but he doesn't see DauT.
He's a scout. That's no surprise. He sees that no relics are being picked off. That's a bit of a surprise.
DauT doesn't know where he's going, though. He's running into the dark himself.
Obviously. DauT has no fletching.
It still would be amazing.
DauT.
TaToH sees the monastery. He sees the siege workshop. That all seems reasonable, just to have siege. This does not tell TaToH that there's going to be crossbows in his eco.
TaToH sees a siege workshop, sees the open wall. What's his reaction?
DauT needs to
Puts
move.
villagers away.
DauT needs to move. TaToH's getting
Instant
loomed.
tower.
TaToH knows now, Nilly.
Oh, that's so good for TaToH. DauT, he was stuck there. Like, he could have been here like 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, he really, I think he was so preoccupied with the organs, or maybe his eco, that he didn't move forward. And Scout is left at home as well, but he did end up killing the monk there and forces 2 towers out of TaToH. I still love DauT's position.
Yeah. Monastery likely to go down. 4th relic, even an option here for TaToH in the long run. Stole one from DauT's side away.
Uh-oh, let's see how these Orkan guns do. Now, DauT would want a Mangonel with his crossbows. Unfortunately, he can't easily leave. I would even like to see TaToH build a gate in that opening that DauT made. Uh-oh, DauT's going to be trapped here, nearly. He only killed 1 unit or 2 units when he came in here. The Orkan guns should do very well against the crossbows because the crossbows don't have bodkin yet.
You need that range advantage. Otherwise, you have to take the fight for basically a unit that is designed to kill low HP big groups of units.
If DauT just kept running, if he just dove into TaToH's eco, he'd do so much. He does see there were villagers there on that gold. And he wants to group up his crossbows together. I mean, honestly, that ram from DauT bought himself a lot of time there. He will kill TaToH's scout. He's got 2 TCs at home, and his crossbows are grouping up now. I actually don't mind his position again. Look at the range advantage here. This is against a unique unit, a unit you need a castle for. It's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty solid, but TaToH can micro, as we can see. Mangonel now coming. DauT is playing 2 TC. TaToH at 1.
Yeah. All right, so here comes the Mangonel. Now, we were casting group stage together. I think it was the Jordan Land series. And I was like, does Land know how little damage Orkan guns do against siege? And I think he found out in that game. TaToH knows 100%. Like, TaToH, I think, knows that defending his base is going to be a massive problem, which is why he's dropped the tower there. But kind of awkward for him. I mean, this tower could easily be denied.
Cancels it, and now tries to get his organs further to the top. All 4 relics in this one single monastery.
Yeah, outpost is going to go down. I mean, think about what we've seen from the Portuguese on the back of these types of attacks. We never see them defend with siege. We never see them defend with towers. It's 1 TC up to imp, but that is on the back of having a safe eco. So DauT with 2 town centers, 3 town centers now, producing lots of villagers. This is going perfectly for DauT right now.
DauT has the 2 relics that were left in his monastery. Has a monk at the front. I think picking up relics here would be a mistake, though. You want to use that monk for healing. Yeah,
that's true. And you just push the base. I mean, kills a villager there from TaToH. It's DauT. DauT's going to try and steal a relic. We just know it. Weird thing for DauT is that he didn't have a Mangonel at home, so TaToH's actually been able to idle a lot of DauT's eco back here with just 3 units.
Not too pretty at all. Some damage done now by the town centers, but this is a nice spot for those 3 organs.
Yeah, Mangonel will eventually deal with this, but idle time for DauT's eco now, so it's not so pretty for him. TaToH shifts into a 2nd town center, which makes sense, but it's more of a panic situation, as you don't normally see 18 villagers building a town center.
Oh, that's a tight area.
Nice micro from TaToH. TaToH uses his own Mangonel mainly there. Repairs now. Fires on DauT's Mango. Doesn't get the kill, but it's weak enough where he could maybe take it. But God, Orkan guns suck against these things now.
Crossbow's doing a good job as well, doing 3 damage per shot. Mangonel would love to see a villager for the repair there for DauT, but still, takes a reasonable fight. That was a big investment for TaToH.
Yeah, and TaToH's Orkan guns actually are still in DauT's base. He split them up somehow. He's got one in the Siege Workshop. He's got one behind the gold. So DauT kind of struggling to micro that a bit. But TaToH's eco is still just in ruins right now. Like, this is not a good eco. He's got 2 working on food. He just bought a bunch of food.
Wow. Sold all the stone, bought that amount of food? What's happening here?
Yeah, I really thought maybe after clearing up DauT's army that would have been an opportunity for a castle forward. Oh, man, DauT just lost 3 crossbows to a couple organs chasing him back. Man, what a messy game this has been. We've kind of seen both players have some issues getting to grips with the situation here.
It's actually funny how, like, I asked you in Dark Age, what can we do to change this map to not make every game look the same? And I've never seen a play like this on this map before.
Yeah, I mean, I personally felt, and we just didn't have time to talk about it, I personally felt that people were too quick, as DauT's going to lose a monk, too quick to just accept that they could never counterattack when their opponent castle drops them. So what DauT did here to break through was really smart. And, like, we had seen some instances. I remember Jordan in the past, his opponent had castle dropped his face, and he petarded through the wall and then raided the opponent's eco. Like, that type of thing, I think players are going to do more and more as we see the season end, because it's obvious how much it could do to the aggressive player. TaToH has to come home now.
It's going back. Relics tries to get his 3rd one next to his castle again. TaToH, reasonable resources, thinking about imping here.
Yeah, TaToH. Also,
organs.
He's got a lot of issues here trying to deal with this. And again, you've gone for unique unit. Amazing tack round there from TaToH. You've gone for a unique unit, and it's just not bringing you crazy value at the moment. It just feels like you're in the worst spot every single engagement because your opponent's gone for 8 range crossbows, and then also the mangonels. And that's what DauT started with. This is what he wanted.
That's why we felt Britons could be a really good answer to Portuguese. But Portuguese, as we mentioned earlier, you can play the low imp economy here and try to get into reasonable resource income using your Victorias.
There is a concern with DauT. He's obviously got fantastic micro, but compared to TaToH, I think things could potentially go wrong in some instances here. If that happens, if he loses his mangonels, if he loses his crossbows, and then TaToH will be an imp faster with the potential to push and make trebs, there could be some warning bells going off in DauT's mind. And right now, DauT has to be careful to not go too far through here, but even his presence here has made it awkward for TaToH. He continues to stream forward more crossbows, and DauT thinking about imp. His eco balance is looking really good behind this Nilly.
Mangonel, left-hand side, trying to intercept, or what is it doing there? Could get out microed.
And DauT sees it, backs away. Actually doesn't back away, using the 8 range nicely there. Good patience as he continues to pressure TaToH on the other side with the crossbows. Will need to pull back here against the mango, and does. And TaToH had to pull back. DauT has a mango, and TaToH attack rounded, but DauT paid attention again.
But not at the left-hand side now, and now he eats all the shots without a mangonel. This is really costly.
Yeah. Is 81 villagers against 56. If DauT can just keep his army on the map and then get even more range by making it to the Imperial Age, I'm still wondering what on earth does TaToH do with his current state. It's just organ guns and mangonels. This only gets worse against the Britons long term.
Yeah, I agree. We kind of have to hope something like Bombard Cannon's ground attack against the crossbows gets a good shot.
Yeah, and those are the moments that we're maybe thinking could haunt DauT, but I mean, it's not too bad. He took out the mangonel. He still has the crossbows here. He drops a castle in a position I don't like because TaToH could potentially treb him, but it is still a defensive castle, and TaToH still can't fully focus on pushing forward.
Trebbing will be tricky, though, against this castle, right? Because your
Yeah,
traps
that's true.
will be exposed.
Yeah, that's true. Where the treb would sit, it will still be exposed. Yeah, DauT's castle a lot better than I thought. Don't say that sentence a lot. DauT's castle's a lot better than I thought. But
Well, then I thought for sure.
and TaToH just hoping to deal with this because in a minute more range comes in. Nice split micro from DauT. Kind of split back into the shot. Feels like DauT will lose this army, but he'll be really happy with the value it brought him.
Yeah, bought him so much time. That's like the crucial resource here.
Yep. And still has another army running forward. DauT doesn't care. DauT wants to tie up the series. DauT wants to take this to a 5th game against his buddy, his pal, his teammate TaToH. And I still don't know what TaToH does. Unit-wise, I still think he has no options against DauT's economy and against DauT's army.
He's now going for bombard cannons and kind of hopes that that will be enough, but how will it be? Against Arbalest? No chance.
Yeah. Even before Arbs, right? You just get the +1 range from making it to Imp. And Bracer adds extra range and attack. The Organ Guns are never going to be elite here. TaToH doesn't have the resources for that. And normally thinking maybe Fatorias. TaToH's got one of them, but to make what? When you're behind by 20 Vils and DauT's ready to push you soon as DauT's going to be making Trebs. It feels like TaToH needs a big shot here that he somehow gets.
And kills the Mangonel. This is perfect for TaToH. Now he can chase this down.
Well, he will lose all the organs, so it's exciting for a moment. Arbalest still shred. But, you know, definitely not one for DauT's highlight reel right there.
Okay. DauT can just play a very stable game now, right? Just 6 archery ranges, build threat with Arbalest, and you should be fine.
DauT. DauT, come on, dude. Like, gets rocked by another shot. And now his Treb is exposed. Kind of falling apart a little bit here. This is a problem. Like, I think for viewers at home, you're probably used to losing Arbalest against Mangonel. Sometimes, sorry. Not sorry. But at this level, when you've got 10 range, it definitely falls to the category with the top 24 players, which is what we have this season, where it probably shouldn't be happening as frequently as it has. Here we go.
Let's take a look. Oh, this Arbalest micro is really solid, though.
Yeah, yeah. And I think DauT mentally, he's just like, forget the small stuff now. I just focus on this, and I win this game, and DauT wins the game. What a series. What an opening there from DauT. We thought about the Portuguese player breaking through to threaten the Britain economy. We never thought about the Britain player breaking through and threatening the Portuguese economy. And TaToH's forward castle left him no protection at home. He had to fall into towers. He couldn't play the 1 TC eco setup. And the Organ Guns didn't do it either, Nilly. Amazing strat from DauT.
Yeah, absolutely have to love it. And the big question is, like, how smart is DauT, right? Because we have so many professional Age of Empires players that have thought about this map, have thought about how to open this, but we have never seen such a clean counter against Portuguese. TaToH looked helpless.
Yeah, seriously. Like you said, this civilization had been played so many times, and it felt like even if you could get the eco lead, since you can't do damage to their economy, they fast imp you, they pressure you, you can't damage their Fatorias. None of this stuff happened. So if you've been following TTL, clearly DauT had been seeing what the trends and did not allow TaToH to do the same thing everyone else had done. Final map will be TaToH's home map then. The worry for DauT is that TaToH has a civilization that I think he's the best at playing in the humans, and it is Hideout, which DauT doesn't necessarily have a pick that screams competitive there, though I'm sure he'll have something planned. DauT collected 7k more resources that game. He did lose more units, but I think his units were less expensive overall, so it ended up working out. Fun series, man. All right, so here we are, Game 5. Now, we kind of broke it down a little bit between the games, but we're going to have plenty of time to talk about it. So, humans, TaToH's favorite civilization for this map. It's the only civ that can make the second TC in feudal. They will get the eco lead. Do you try and dominate the eco? Do you try and, like, pressure it if you're DauT here? Or do you try and play the catch-up game and boom yourself, Nilly? What are you thinking?
I think DauT's approach might be 2 spearmen, forward siege workshop, and 4 TCs behind it.
Okay.
Because if you just like build 3 TCs yourself and the opponent can just freely boom, it's just the dream for humans, right? You have to force them into reactions. You have to not allow the cast to be built wherever the human player wants. They can then decide, do I want to play 4 TC? Do I want to play 2 TC? And you want to take some options away from your opponent. And that's why letting them boom freely is kind of a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. I think something Bengalis could have an issue with that would, again, possibly be an issue if DauT just sits at home is the lack of mobility. And this is TaToH we're talking about. We've seen it so many times where he just controls the game. He hits you in one area. He then hits you in the other, and you just keep reacting, and it's a never-ending cycle. So I think a way to prevent that from being an issue would be to apply some pressure. And if DauT wants to do that, he's got a pretty easy option. Now, sometimes hideout players can generate a bit further from each other. There's a bit of variance. But this is your more standard hideout gen where one side is the closest route. And if DauT were to go to the north, I could see him building a siege workshop there and starting to pressure TaToH's walls.
We have to acknowledge that TaToH has a really good map.
Yep.
A really good map. If he gets pressured from the left-hand side, he will maybe lose some farms around his mill. But stone is safe, gold is safe. He can move away to other golds and stone. Like, this is a real dream for TaToH.
Yeah. And then the other thing we should remind people of, because DauT's not going to have the second TC in Feudal, is that Bengalis get +2 villagers from each TC when they arrive to the next stage. So obviously still on 1 TC when you get to Feudal, but that's +2 vills. By the time you make it to Castle off a fast castle, you're then up +4. You do get more vills from your town centers heading towards Imp. That I don't feel is the important thing here, though that will matter. I think the nice thing, though, is if you go fast castle, you are 4 villagers... how do I word this? Like, you are 4 villagers ahead of where every other civilization that would go fast castle against the humans would be. So it gives you more to work with, which is why I think what you said would make sense. You can still justify adding pressure because you don't have to focus your whole existence on trying to catch up. You apply a little bit of pressure, but then obviously don't neglect the eco behind.
This is so much pressure in this game. Like, that one single game to basically decide the whole phase of your season. You played 5 weeks already.
Yep.
Such a tough groups for DauT and TaToH there. Both not winning their groups, and now they really want to show something. And then it all comes down to one single game.
Yeah, and like for both of them, the potential for first was there. Like, it was realistic. DauT had to win a series against Yo. Obviously, that didn't happen. TaToH, had he not lost against Classic Pro, would have been tied with Leary and Viper and given us a crazy 3-way tied admin situation. But even this still, I can remember games that TaToH was really close to winning in the groups in his series against Leary, for example. So, like, that's kind of the beauty of the format, is every game is counted, and the players who were able to somehow get the top of all these crazy groups doesn't have to deal with this. But, you know, like, it's not just this series. You may eventually, if you lose this game right here, look back to group stage and be like, God, why did I not make skirmishers or something, you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, I did this, I think, this week. After I beat Dark in a ladder game, I felt like, damn, if I only played like this in my TTL games. And then I looked through the Liquipedia page of the group stage and looked like, I could have won that game.
Yep.
If I only saved villagers there. Oh, if I only knew how bad Turks were. And it really... I went through the same, like, hurt emotions again.
Yeah, 100%. And, like, that's why I've had such a focus this season on being prepared the second you hop into the game, right? Knowing already. Like, and there were some players who got relegated because it took them 2 weeks to figure out that what they were choosing to go for actually doesn't click that much, you know? But it's just so fun, man. And there's, like... It's been a fun map pool. There's been a lot of variety to a lot of the games played. So I've been enjoying it. TaToH's Tekken TC is up. He hasn't placed it on the gold. So it's more so on the stone, which is somewhat notable. Could choose to go to stone at any time he wants to, but probably won't do it for a while, as it should be all food and wood right now for him.
Yeah, pretty standard there. Did not get the farm upgrade, though.
Ooh.
Oh, that's
really weird.
That's something atypical for sure. Is that a mistake, or will he get it? He has to get it in Feudal Age. Like, he will add at least, like, 12 more farms.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal if you get it before, like, farm 8 or 10, I'd say. But the fact that he hasn't researched it yet makes me think that he clicked it, didn't have the resources, and now thinks that he has it. He could do it. This is huge.
No. It's another farm.
And there's no reason to go back to the mill to check. There's no reason to click your farms to check the food. TaToH is assuming he has this upgrade right now.
I think so.
This is like the elite Huskarl for TaToH's game when compared to game 1. For those that watched the series, if you didn't watch the first game, then that's going to be really confusing. But, like, I mean, what's going to happen here is he'll go up to, like, 20 farms. He's expecting to arrive to the next stage, as we see a barracks from TaToH. He's expecting to arrive to the next stage and then have food flowing still without having to reseed farms. But, I mean, he's going to have to reseed some farms when he gets there. And, oh, now, horse collar. Okay.
Okay, whew, saved.
Whew.
Gets Loom here. Was he house or something?
No, I think he wants to stop DauT from coming forward. He did a similar thing against Leary, where he made the barracks and then a stable, sorry, for some scouts to stop DauT from coming forward.
Yeah, true. But DauT knows about that, already 2 spearmen out, and then it will get tricky, right? Distance relatively short here.
Yeah.
And so far, no stable from TaToH.
TaToH saw the spear. I wonder if he's tempted to bring Vils, and that's why he brought Loom. Oh, this is really smart. Because he knows he won't have the army to kill DauT, but if he just matches DauT's Vil number, then he could at least maybe delay the Siege Workshop.
And for TaToH, it's also fine to build a tower here, right? He sends a villager on stone now, and DauT never ever wants to build a tower.
Oh, what do you even do? It's such a tricky spot to be in if you're DauT, because you don't want to play the Vil War.
Archer range.
Yeah, archer range for TaToH. Oh, man, this is... I think you just cancel the approach if you're DauT. He had no Loom. Oh, God. Moving forward without Loom. Questionable here for DauT. He is getting it, though, and he should be able to get away. But I think you just have to boom at home. Just drop the second TC. But no, he's going to go for a monastery here. Interesting.
Oh, wow. And that's far away.
DauT loses the scout. TaToH scout's still alive. TaToH will see the monastery, too. Can you tower that monastery? Is that realistic?
Not in this area. Like, yeah, you can, but you're not scared of that monastery, right?
Okay.
You rather wall, or like not really wall, but okay, he goes for the monastery. Interesting.
I cheated because I saw he probably dropped off stone there for a second, so... I mean, it looked like he was thinking about it. DauT's got a ton of spears right now, and DauT is dropping the second TC as well. But here come the archers for TaToH, so the spearmen are all going to be picked off here over time. And TaToH's tower is going to go up, and DauT has definitely not had the game that he wanted. He wanted to pressure. This is the brilliance of TaToH. If this was me, I 2TC boom with humans, I scout the Siege Workshop as it's going up, but I haven't prepared for it. And then there's a nightmare on my hands when there's mangonels and monks.
That's why you said TaToH is the best with humans here.
Yep.
Because he had this scenario so often already. And he knows, okay, typical approach is this. My reaction is this. And now even another tower.
I wonder
this monastery soon is useless.
I wonder if TaToH, who has to be careful with this archer here, because you're not going to kill a Bengali monk with that archer, but I wonder if TaToH delayed horse collar because of the situation with the barracks and the range timing.
Wanted to get the barracks first, you say? Interesting.
Like maybe because he wanted to add military, he knew he couldn't do it if he squeezed in horse collar when he did. But I mean, 50 villagers versus 39. It's not the worst for DauT, but he's not going to be able to use this monastery much longer because TaToH is going to wall it in.
The thing is, we often say, yeah, extended feudal age is good for the humans because they play 2TC against 1TC.
Yeah.
But now extended feudal age for TaToH means he's playing 2TC against 3TC.
Yeah.
So yeah, right now TaToH is ahead in collected resources. If TaToH is still in feudal age in 4 minutes, 5 minutes, DauT will have caught up.
Yeah, it's a fair point. And TaToH also has had quite a few villagers being converted. I think he's had 2 or 3 villas converted, which DauT is going to take.
4 conversions total.
Yeah, I think it was, I don't know how many were villas, but majority of them were. And yeah, DauT's going to be fine. He's like, I got enough monks. I can get more conversions. I can still add siege. And you're absolutely right. 3 TCs for DauT. Maybe TaToH made the feudal age a little too crazy for himself here.
Still producing archers, still producing spearmen against monk. Siege Workshop is up as well. Obviously, TaToH will have quite some map control. Now at scouts. Wee.
Yeah. Now, remember, and I think this is always the key with TaToH. Even if he's behind in vills, if both sides are open and he's got vision there, he is going to be a nightmare for DauT later on. Like, DauT's going to try and get relics. DauT might try to expand. Like, I have a whole lot of faith in TaToH when he can make it messy for his opponent. But DauT's eco is looking tasty here. Now, he is behind some eco upgrades, but you don't really care about that right now when you're against the humans. You just want the Vil count to be even at the very least.
Yeah, overall, basically in the end, it all comes down to collected resources, right?
Yep,
So
yep.
the upgrades matter, but obviously it's, for us, very easy to see how close DauT is villager-wise.
TaToH sending archers into his tower. Not the biggest fan of that, because one mangonel can still deal with it. But he's building another tower to buy time. TaToH did make an outpost on the right side, Nilly, and then I think he just went to select all idols and sent the villagers home. I would have actually really liked to have seen him continue making outposts on the other side. But
So then, for example, confirm the 4th town center, right?
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
timing.
But I think that, and that's, again, another thing I think a lot of people can relate to, is you try and fix your idols, and sometimes you just don't realize which idol villager you're sending to that farm or that house or something. So that is most likely what happened there.
Monk wants to get in there a bit, annoy a bit, and yeah, TaToH didn't fully wall the monastery, so it can still be used.
Yeah, that's a fair point. DauT could have also used the siege to bop a couple palisades. Bengali monks are strong, man. Crazy armor. Towers don't do much. And TaToH will be in Castle Age in about 90 seconds. Now, key moves for TaToH then will be, does he go for the 3rd and 4th town center? Because he is now behind in Vils. It feels natural with the way he's playing it. Also could make a siege workshop right now if you wanted to. He's not doing that, but you can make the siege workshop in feudal age with the humans.
Yeah, he just built the blacksmith, so maybe thought about that for a moment. Tower now gets some kills against the spearmen. Villagers could be around for some repair. Hill certainly helps out.
Yeah, and DauT is going to have a small trash army in his base, which he doesn't want to have to deal with. He kind of just ignored it, attacking the gate that whole time. But okay, now DauT is caught up with Vils, but he hasn't focused fully into a large army composition. So, also DauT, he's not adding any more spears. He does not see TaToH's stables. So he doesn't know TaToH's massing as many scouts as he is behind that.
What else would TaToH go for? Right, you see the upgrades on the other units, skirmishers, 1 no armor, and did you see the, where was TaToH's scout? Didn't he have one?
He
a second ago
just
there?
lost it and on the farms from DauT.
And it didn't see any upgrades
And
there.
DauT killed it. Yeah, DauT killed it.
So DauT really doesn't know what TaToH's going for.
Also, Bodkin arrow. I mean, I wasn't expecting TaToH to go for crossbowman and Bodkin, and DauT's monk was chasing a villager. One of the monks goes down. TaToH's going to hop out with Lycav and crossbowman here in a second. And DauT's going to drop a castle in his walls. That's a good thing because he's going to lose everything here.
Yeah, but that's still not the castle that he wanted, and he also didn't want to lose all his monks.
Yep, Lycav come out. Crossbows did get converted there, but now TaToH has the map control. And behind this, TaToH on the 3rd TC. He is behind 20 villagers, but there's just the question now is like, do you have the villagers where you want them if you're DauT, right? You would have wanted to have expanded a little bit more. You're going to be very constricted, and I'm not sure if this was part of his plan, but DauT just feels forced to go for the Ratha, which in truth might not actually be a bad unit to go for against the humans, because the humans do not have very strong skirmishers.
Yeah, DauT likes Ratha a lot, plus skirmishers aren't as good as they're used to, right? Because if you use the Ratha melee form, your skirms aren't doing the extra damage. That used to be a thing, but got changed.
Yeah, now DauT's got to get some upgrades, but hey, he's got the Vil lead. So I think TaToH should spend the next couple minutes trying to snag relics for the late game. There's already a monastery, and he's going to be doing that. And just using his map control to keep DauT pinned inside of his base. A good job from TaToH, but a great job from DauT in our 5th game. It's like both players are kind of in spots where they take it, right? I think both players would be comfortable if you would have told them that at this stage of the game, their economies would look like it does, and the map control would look like it does.
Well, DauT will love his villager count for sure.
Yeah.
Will like that he is on Ratha for sure. Problem is like 0 relics right now, not a single unit anywhere close to TaToH's base. Those are problems.
Yeah. I guess the key for DauT would be yet, right? Yet, because right now the Ratha 105 HP. This is pre-Bloodlines. They're moving in. There's a Scorpion there as well. They're looking pretty good. TaToH doesn't have Elite Skirm. The Light Cab also don't have that many upgrades. So DauT, it's not the prettiest, but he should be able to clear this up, which should mean that he can leave his base and maybe even contest for relics right now.
Okay, those Light Cab have to run. Skirmisher and Crossbow won't be doing too much either. University now for TaToH at home. And feels like DauT freed himself and should have a solid imp advantage.
It feels like that should be in his thinking, right? Like, you don't really need to boom beyond 110 vills when you have 4 TCs. Because you're going to get all those free vills when you make it to imp. So DauT selling wood, thinking about imp. He'll clear up the crossbows. He'll clear up the skirms. He will click to the Imperial Age, and then we should wait for the castle, right? You want the critical castle, like the crucial castle, to place forward. But it's so tough to know, Nilly, because you don't want to run into towards the tower from TaToH. TaToH's got army waiting there. You don't exactly want to run the right side, because there's, like, no value there, it feels like.
But and right-hand side is the castle, left-hand side is the army. And apparently stand corrected. Ratha still take the extra bonus damage against the skirmishers.
Okay.
So this has to be the go-to unit for TaToH.
I'm glad that's the case, because I swear I was using melee mode against skirms at one point, and it was not good. It was really not good. So it makes sense. DauT going for the more defensive castle, which I think suits the situation with the lack of vision he has. And now we're going to see him switch to melee mode, but these things should get wrecked by Elite Skirm, even on melee mode. It's a cool unit design, but it feels so awkward when you want to switch it to night mode. He is getting decent kills, though, on the skirms and crossbows. It's decent enough. So I suppose, I mean, the unit's a little expensive. I think it's 60 wood and 60 gold for a Ratha. So the value's maybe not there, but at least he is getting some kills.
But still, like, if skirms suddenly is a counter to your switched unit, it doesn't excite me that much.
I agree, yeah. And maybe DauT needs to consider switching out of it. It's got to be so tricky. Like, if DauT was against, let's say, Lithuanians, right? A really good skirm civ, I'm sure he knows right now, I have to stop making Ratha. But I think, how many games do you think DauT has made Ratha against humans? Probably not many. So he is hoping, I think, that because humans like Bracer, that he can continue with Ratha and get the upgrades on Ratha and be fine against the skirms. Really tricky.
And it is a common matchup on Regicide Fortress. Not sure how much Regicide Fortress DauT played over the last half year, though.
Yeah, and even then, it's like, because the humans have the castle, they're usually going hip checks. I do remember an epic game from you where you went Elite Skirm, I think against Italians with the humans.
Against Uzi, right?
Yeah, it was against Uzi. That was a really important series for you to eventually qualify for gold. So, I mean, now the Ratha's getting some decent engagements. This is before DauT gets imp upgrades. DauT's not going to complain about that. He also has 142 villagers. He got a big spike in vills because of imp.
Yeah, pretty nice for him. And now triple castle production. TaToH not really getting the answer. 16 skirms in queue. Now goes for some more barracks. He wants to go for the double army comp.
Yeah, it's going to take TaToH some time. He's still not in the Imperial Age. The Ratha, with their melee option, still getting some value done. DauT even getting attack upgrades. And DauT's going to drop a castle on this hill that will go up. TaToH's still losing lots of army. And, DauT, he's doing an all right job right now. He even killed TaToH's monk on the right side.
Lovely move for sure. And those barracks might be too far to the front here for TaToH.
Yeah, that's true. It's always so awkward when you build up production buildings and then it just gets pushed hard. But I mean, TaToH's at 40 farms. I'm sure that number will grow. He's got the 3 relics and he's got a civ he's so well accustomed to. Well, he also doesn't have Bracer. So, like, right, and no chemistry on the way. So this castle is actually a little risky here. But he's got some pikemen in front as well. God, it's a very awkward army to call, honestly, for both of them. It's like both of their armies kind of suck in different ways.
Non-elite Ratha as well. Now first trap out. This will be tricky for TaToH to hold against all the traps.
Yeah. But like
a lot of Ratha kills.
But like, yeah, you're right. But then again, it's like the trap position is going to be weird. DauT's like trying to force the issue with the Wrath, and he's losing a lot of them. He is going to have more attack speed on them in a second because of the Pikes upgrade. Also, Chemistry's coming in, and he doesn't have Elite, but DauT can actually protect his Trebs right now, reasonably.
TaToH needs some more farms. 50 on wood, not really needed right now. And he's getting to an army that, yeah, as you mentioned, has his clear weaknesses there. Without Bracer, missing the extra range, missing the extra attack. TaToH, he needs to switch into something else eventually, but for now, he needs to build an army that somehow holds this push.
Yeah, DauT maybe adding some eco now, losing some units. DauT getting Elite Ratha. He's just now getting the first armor upgrade for his Cav, and he's adding stable. So it's going to be Light Cav and Ratha as DauT's comp. Relic number 4 coming in for DauT now. 150 Vils. Should you consider the unique tech Mahayana here, or is it too expensive, you think?
I think it's absolutely worth it, right? Isn't it like 850 food, 650 gold or something in that ballpark? Like, it simply gives you like 15 extra population in this one.
Yeah. You know, an area I'm worried about for DauT right now is that right-hand side. I'd love to see a castle or a wall there. TaToH's just sending a couple Kip techs. Like, these things are paper right now. No bloodlines, but still going to get kills. And, you know, DauT, he can't give TaToH those opportunities. That's what TaToH loves to do. He did it in game 1. He's like holds in the crucial area and starts to pick DauT apart in other areas. And DauT is going to drop a castle fully within TaToH's vision on that right side there. Would still like to see some potential walls, as this is going to be our answer, I guess. Like, can human skirmishers, non-bracer skirmishers, counter the Elite Ratha? They still do lots of bonus damage against the Ratha.
The big problem is, like, DauT is working more and more towards his ideal army.
Yeah.
While TaToH is stuck on more and more elite skirms.
You know what would actually be sick for TaToH? He can't do it now. He's got to probably max out with what he has, but Paladin. Paladin would be epic. Like, if he could just click Cavalier now and just think about it, have it in the back of his mind. He's not spending a lot of gold at the moment on anything. So I think that could surprise DauT. Like, DauT doesn't think there's any reason to add Spearman right now.
What do we think about Step Lancers?
Oh, there's the Cavalier click, Nilly.
Ooh.
Yeah, castle for DauT on the right. TaToH saw it. But TaToH has a castle. He's even rewalling some of that. And love what TaToH's doing. He's trying to build up a big, massive Trebs. He's actually housed, though, or I guess pop capped, so he can't make the 2 trebuchets he has in queue from the forward castle. That's kind of a big deal.
Uh-oh, Tristan. TaToH is preparing for the cut through the center into the woodline of DauT. And DauT, anticipating it, already building outposts.
Yeah.
Trying to see it.
Yeah, will he see the outposts? Or not the outpost, sorry. Will he see the siege workshop?
Mahayana's coming in.
Okay, so to explain what that does, that is 10% of your eco population is freed up. So that is, what, 15 villagers? A pop space that is freed up for DauT to have army now. And here comes DauT with the Trebs. TaToH doesn't have his own Trebs. That's a lot of Ratha right now.
A lot of Halberdiers in front of those skirmishers. But Light Cav are going down, so skirms should be fine.
I'd like to see DauT bring his Light Cav over here. TaToH hasn't been able to cut yet. This is going to get really messy. But DauT has got Light Cav into the back of TaToH's eco. TaToH's distracted, and TaToH's castle has melted. We're seeing upgrades for TaToH to maybe consider Paladin, but he's so far removed from it, Nilly. DauT can really push over the next few minutes before TaToH gets there.
Also, housed is TaToH here, needs to get some more of those out. Simply no Halberdiers. Uh-oh, TaToH could lose a lot of his skirms.
Yeah, and the Light Cav are got a full upgrades here, and DauT will definitely take this fight. His Trebs will come in to take some of the buildings, and it's desperation mode for TaToH. The best human player in the world is getting Bengali'd right now by DauT, and I'm not seeing how TaToH could change the way the game's going right now.
Those skirms, clearly some Halberdiers in front of them. That was the big mistake, and that's why he couldn't really take the fight. And now the Halberdiers arrive, but they will just take on the head-up fight against the Ratha. That's not what you want to do.
TaToH does have a ton of production on our screen, though. I'm not seeing a whole lot of blue come in reinforcements for DauT. This still gives TaToH time to cut. Now, he is cutting with very little support for his Trebs, but he's now through, which is wild to me. DauT also is able to place a castle on the right side so he could take some of that gold, which is important. Also, somehow TaToH has 3 relics? I don't know how that happened.
Maybe he stole them from some. Honestly, I don't really know what happened.
Yeah.
But we have the Paladin tech, and we still have a lot of army here, a lot of blue, deep in TaToH's base.
Yeah, and it's just the issue has been the skirms are not protected. But if TaToH has Paladin, and TaToH can get that Paladin into DauT's eco, DauT doesn't have castles there. DauT is walling that, though, as the Ratha focus on the Onager. They're getting hit. They switch to melee mode. Nice play from DauT to attempt this, but he still will lose his Ratha here.
And he might not even kill the Onager. Onager could be saved. Oh, no, goes down.
Oh, man, Paladin from TaToH. I mean, I don't know how he has the eco for it. DauT's trying to raid him, but somehow TaToH's still got units everywhere. I think TaToH could actually hold here for a bit.
What a game. What a game. And now the light cav arrive in TaToH's woodline. And all those traps could go down.
Oh, man, true. DauT gets through. He deletes the walls he just placed. What a play. What a play from DauT. That was sick.
We're saying, oh, TaToH can afford Paladin. He has 3 on the map right now.
Yeah, and the idle time's insane. Like, he just doesn't have access to gold. He can't think at the moment, as DauT's all over him. He does have a lot of units. He's got a lot of halbs and a lot of skirms, so he's finally solved that problem. But if TaToH can't get access to his golds and stones and sort out even his farming eco, so DauT's going to be completely fine, and DauT will kill another Onager. Very well played. Oh, well, okay, gets it. And in all honesty, what had to happen here for TaToH was the Paladin window had to surprise DauT before DauT had help. Now DauT knows, and now DauT can tech switch into help. It's perfect for DauT right now.
Gets the second armor upgrade. Barracks setup not perfect yet. And that's some units streaming in, but that's obviously where DauT already has 4 town centers prepared.
Yeah, it's true. Yep. Population 160 for DauT. And then 180 for TaToH. Of course, DauT's population is realistically like more so like 180. It's just what's capture rate is showing. So it actually, I don't know if you felt this way, but sometimes when you play Bengalis and research Mahayana, you start to have panic moments after big fights. You're like, my pop is super low.
Yeah.
This is giving TaToH time to stabilize, but in terms of gold access, he doesn't have a lot because that right side, that neutral gold, DauT has control of. And DauT,
so clever.
I mean, he might be down a relic, but I think the Bengalis are superior in their trash options. They have help. They have better skirms. I guess the light cav is what they're capped at, whereas the Hussar is more of a thing for TaToH. But I mean, detect Paladin, like you said, Nilly, and have only created maybe like 15 of them, really hurts for TaToH right now.
And he's not queuing up more, right? He wants to go for onagers, wants to cut this area more, but weirdly enough, it feels like the Cuban player doesn't want to play the mobility game right now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Such a good job from DauT to push the left while simultaneously taking the right. Normally, it's either or. I mean, at this level, you'll see it both, but the fact that he was able to do that was so smart. He used his early imp pressure to take 2 areas at the same time. But TaToH is not finished yet. He's waiting for that right side opportunity with halbs and skirms there and traps. Again, though, he's pop blocked. He can't actually
I think he's waiting for a 3rd trap, but is housed.
Yeah.
And can't build it.
Yeah, that happened on the front as well earlier, where he had 2 traps in queue, and then he couldn't produce. DauT will defend in the middle. DauT's halbs going in for the onager. DauT's Ratha there to help. That's something TaToH, it's kind of a headache he created for himself. We can understand it, though. And DauT's light cav finding kills on that gold. Well played, DauT, who has more eco and the same amount of military right now.
A bit sloppy in the center. Might lose 1-2 units there, but still all reasonable.
All right, TaToH's way back into the game. That right corner. He has trebs. DauT notices this, but TaToH's got a little bit of everything. The only paladins he has now are here. And there's skirms and there's halbs. It's going to be tough for DauT to actually hold this castle. Having said that, he does have a lot of stone to repair. So we might see a lot of units from the middle of the map come over here right now.
Will be tricky though. He's sending his rutters to the left-hand side. Has 2 traps prepared there. Feels like the castle will fall. And now we see step Hussar into it. So TaToH maybe thinking about Hussar next.
Can DauT be doing more to push this right now? He's got crazy resources. Crazy resources. This is giving time to TaToH to get up to 80 on food. And with Steppe Husbandry Hussar spam, I think then you're at a position where you could conceivably maybe even go Hussar versus the Ratha, right? Just because of how fast you produce. The fact it only costs food.
DauT soon has like 60 halberdiers on the field, right?
Yeah,
25 already on the field, 35 in the queue. So that will be tricky. You need another unit with it. And I don't think we can tech into Kipchak.
Yeah, that's fair. It's like, how do you counter even just straight Halb as DauT sees the other castle and has his Trebs here now? And TaToH's Hussars have to get there. Now, DauT's got to make sure those Trebs are protected. This would be huge for him, especially because he's dropping his own castle here. TaToH's killing villagers with skirms. He's also through with Paladin in the middle. Lots to focus on, but DauT's focus is on his Trebs. TaToH's repairing that castle. Can TaToH take out those trebuchets?
Only repairing with one single villager, but Paladin should be really good against this. Can we block it with melee? No, we can't. That's at least one trap gone.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2 because just Paladin things, right? There's so much HP involved. TaToH, Hussar does it.
6. Oh.
TaToH's not finished yet. This is a weird combination of units. Ratha, Halb, Skirms, Hussars. There's also villagers for DauT going down to the random red dots that TaToH has sent into DauT's eco. TaToH's holding. He's not crumbling. He does still have the Trebs from the other side, Nilly, to bring over here to take this castle out from DauT.
And that's indeed what they're doing. DauT is trying to get some stone there. Seems like TaToH helped this one, and probably with a lesser gold investment.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And obviously, Paladin's still finding kills. DauT down to 126 villagers. I'm not sure if he sees all the Paladins. He now with Lightcap into TaToH's woodline. The fact that TaToH cut that open has actually hurt him so much. Because he can't stone wall, Nilly. So it's not like he could re-wall it in a way that DauT can't come through again. What a game.
Those traps, not really sure what happened there. Now they are starting to shoot again. And TaToH, like, it's so easy for him to reinforce, right? He had all the barracks, archer ranges, and stables there. That's why his hold was so impressive.
Wow. I mean, if TaToH comes back in this game, more impressive to me than game number 1. And game number 1 was also insanely impressive. Don't tell me, DauT, that TaToH's going to be able to do this to you again. How is TaToH doing this? TaToH's going to take out DauT's castle there.
Looks like it. 23 kills on that castle, though. Like, it was only up for 2 minutes.
Yeah, seriously, a very important position. DauT has 50 Halbs in queue. He doesn't have any Ratha in queue anymore. He doesn't have any Lightcap for the time being. I'm sure that could change. If it is just Halb, the skirms from TaToH could possibly do a decent enough job.
Still the last attack missing for the Halberdiers of TaToH. That's why we are kind of fighting on even terms here. Bengal is lacking the last upgrade there when it comes to defense, and they will never get it.
Like this from DauT, though. A couple Rathas needed for that right gold. Those 5 villagers are invaluable to TaToH. TaToH, after taking a good fight against DauT, will now send Hussars directly through the middle again, where DauT waits with Halbs, and now DauT's going to wall it up. This is an amazing game.
Ooh. Oh! Gets it done. Nice job.
Oh, yep. Quick walls there from DauT. And DauT's Halbs, lacking that armor, could actually be the problematic fact against the skirms here, right? If you had the armor, skirms not having bracer would maybe be a bigger factor here. But I'd still prefer to have Halbs and fully upgraded skirms, I think. I just don't know.
That's also just a really good unit in Age of Empires. Maybe on this map, less of an importance, but I think it will just be a big, big headache.
No doubt. Maybe struggling, thinking, how can I spend my gold? He's going to get Parthian Tactics. An upgrade he didn't have before, and DauT just walled it, and TaToH is through again. I am just speechless at this TaToH guy. He looked so dead. It felt like his Civ ran out of options. It felt like the windows that he normally uses to win games had been shut by DauT. And yet, TaToH's defending in the north, and he's pushing DauT in his main eco again.
Oh man, feels a bit of a repeat of game 1, right? Where we felt like DauT had the full control and was in the dream spot that he was basically playing for. And somehow TaToH is making a hold happen.
Yeah, and you start to feel it now too. You have the, oh god, not again. Like, there's almost like a level of respect that happens. When you start to get ready like this, you go, oh my god, this is tough. Like, this is really tough. And DauT obviously knew all that coming into it. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. TaToH expanding his eco a bit. I think that TC on the right is actually really important, Nilly, because he is going to need wood mainly there. Middle of the map wood is going to be too risky. And it's an even game. 200 pop. TaToH has 3 relics. I still don't understand how he got 3. I might have just not seen the proper numbers earlier. I could have sworn that DauT was on his way to 4 at some point. But
I just trusted you with it. I saw the relic from the right-hand side going into the direction. Yeah.
It's likely that at that point it was probably 3-1 for TaToH, and I thought it was 3-1 for DauT. I love that, though. I just trusted you with it. I love that. Thank you for the trust.
Always. Okay, we're getting some more upgrades. Last attack upgrade, crop rotation, and some more HP and armor on our buildings here for TaToH. Always, guys, if you think, okay, game stabilized, there's no immediate fight that I need to take care of, just click through your buildings, check your upgrades, and sometimes you're missing something.
Yep. And you actually see that with players when they have that thinking of upgrade check, right? Because it's not just a blacksmith upgrade. It's like eco upgrades, military upgrades, university upgrades, you know? The TaToH doing all 3 there. DauT's in a pretty good spot as far as that's concerned, but he does get crop rotation with his Civ, and he didn't get it, which in a game like this, I think could pay off in the long run.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like this game could easily take another half hour.
Yep.
And TaToH is now getting Pathian tactics. He's actually attacking into Kipchaks. That's surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, he probably feels he needs to spend his gold in some way. He's more worried about the Halb than anything. A couple Kipchaks combined in each little force could be helpful there. And we're kind of seeing the Kipchaks help out next to his Trebs. Now, he took out one of DauT's Trebs with those Trebs. If he can now save his Trebs, it would be unbelievable. He does lose one as well, but he could push DauT's castle here. And if DauT loses this castle on the right, Nilly, he is going to be raided nonstop by these Hussars. This would be awful for him. He needs to lock this down.
Yeah, like he could still get raided a lot, right? Because you can always cut, but where do you even put your halberdiers there?
Yeah.
It's so tough to perfectly split them.
Yeah, I mean, like, TaToH could run through with his Hussars right now. Look at where he's chopping wood. Like, that's the gold mine right there. And DauT needs to push the other side at the same time, and he's going to do so. He's got Trebs. We could have a base trade, Nilly, where both players are losing castles on their flanks. I guess the main difference would be the wood area is on the right side, where DauT's going to get hit.
And TaToH wants to get more HP on his castle, but a Kipchak is blocking the upgrade, plus being housed. Oh, this might hurt TaToH.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Kipchak in the castle. Now, TaToH will probably send all of his new military to stabilize this side. His Kipchaks, all his range units especially. I'm wrong, though. He's actually using the Kipchaks to protect his Trebs, knowing DauT would snipe that otherwise. Oh, man. DauT's going to lose Vils, Nilly. He has lost Vils. He's lost 140 Vils. It's not going to get better. Oh, man. This is a crazy game.
What do you think about the option of onages for DauT?
I think it's too late, but I would have liked it, yes. In this moment, there's no world where I could foresee Onager being a realistic option. It's just too much to look at. And he's got like 80 units in queue, right? You'd probably cancel the units if you're thinking about it. It's so tough to think about it right now. And TaToH just has DauT under so much pressure. DauT's castle on the right has gone down. DauT is down to 116 Vils, but DauT's got 90 army. TaToH's giving him pop space. He's like, thank you very much for the pop space here.
Oh god, those 14 Kipchaks will be so annoying.
Yep.
Already 11 killed. I wouldn't be surprised if like the group gets 30-40 kills.
Now, TaToH had Onager before. 1 or 2 Onagers would be really helpful right next to his castle. But he's not doing that, and DauT's up to 90 military. Hey, you're right, though, because you're normally patrolling the halbs to save farmers, not skirmishers. DauT's pushing with the skirms, and all of his ranges seem to be somewhat forward, too.
Let's take a look. Oh, Kipchaks actually run through the halberdiers here in their first attack.
Yep, TaToH sees it. TaToH's okay there. He's lost his castle, meaning he has 2 castles remaining. DauT has 3, but it's all on the left. He's completely exposed on the right. Elite Kipchak for TaToH. I mean, why not, right? Get the most out of your units. Make those
no
Kipchaks
gold,
even
right?
stronger.
I think that upgrade doesn't cost gold.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's wood and food. If it did cost gold, it's probably questionable. Like, this game's insane, right? Like, DauT could win because he's pushing in the north, and because he's got 90 army now that he lost the Vils. But TaToH could win because he's going to have Elite Kipcheck, Hussar, Halb. I still think like a hero onager or two to smash the skirms would be such a game changer here. DauT is not seen an onager in so long. He's not expecting that.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is, like, typically you don't want to build too many onagers against Bengalis because they can easily convert it. But we certainly don't have the Monk techs. Right?
Yeah, DauT's not going to do that either. I mean, he might if he gets hit by the first one, but more realistically, he would probably just use Lycav. TaToH had a lot of his production buildings in this corner. I'm wondering if TaToH is making the proper production buildings elsewhere. I'm not actually seeing a lot of ranges for TaToH, but TaToH's through the middle.
And he's sending all the traps there. He ignores the push at the top. He realized, okay, wow, I gave up this wood line. You will waste some time, and I'm guaranteed to do way more damage to the center. Okay,
so what do you just go for TCs here, right? Because there's not a castle that's that close. I guess you could go for the TCs first and then the castle. Oh, man. I mean, both players need to use damage control. It feels like flip a coin. Both players are going to take massive losses. TaToH's eco isn't as affected, though, by DauT's push. That's the main thing I keep realizing.
I think TaToH needs to add archery ranges again. He will lose those 3 at the top, unless he wants to play full Kipcheck Hussar, which obviously is absolutely fine with 3 relics.
Well, will he have the 3 relics? Because he's going to lose his monastery. So well played from DauT there. Now no golden come for TaToH, as DauT is losing villagers. He's lost over 200 villagers in this game, but he has killed 115 himself.
Uh-oh, relics are gone for TaToH.
I guess you just got to make a new monastery. Hope you can get there. Hope you can somehow find a combination to engage against DauT's Trebs before DauT takes out your castle, before he takes out your TCs. This game is ridiculous. It still could go either way. I feel like TaToH is going to struggle to kill the 125 army that DauT has. DauT has so much more in queue as well. This is crazy.
And this is a really strong army composition. How do you even commit with the Hussars? He now right-clicks the trap, but so many body blocks. I'm not even sure if he properly gets there.
No, he doesn't. And DauT will kill the Kipchecks. DauT will possibly kill the castle, but there's an onager.
No way. The Hussars, he just lost 15 Hussars, maybe 20.
Onager needs to save TaToH. Onager needs to save TaToH. DauT doesn't have anything to kill the onager.
Trap kills the onager.
What? That was the most important treb shot of the whole season right there. But TaToH's not finished because Steppe Husbandry Hussars, Nilly, they're going to be right back. They produce so quickly out of these human stables. And now, DauT's skirmishers are trying to run through the middle. They're going to get massacred. TaToH can get his relics again, and we continue on.
Gates blocking. Those skirms are all gone.
Oh, man. And the castle as well from TaToH remains to make more Kipchecks. And we've now arrived to a point where DauT had the spike, right? He had like 80 army in queue. He had the army spike where it went to 130. Normally, if you can hold from that spike, the greater eco then wins you the game. We'll see what happens. TaToH with a 50 villager lead right now.
I honestly felt TaToH was losing after he lost the 20 Hussars there.
Yep.
It was pop 200 against 155. But he got to pop 200 so quickly again. And then the clear up, just beautiful.
And DauT is on primarily Halb. He's going to actually switch back to Ratha for his ranged unit, which I think is fine. It's a fine way to spend your gold. But he does not have skirms anymore. Just crazy performance from these two. It's so sad to me. One of them will not advance past around the 12.
Can't we let both advance?
I mean, I think the whole tournament format would be ruined if we just give if we just let people advance because they play good. I'm gonna have to say no to that one, Nilly, as we have 1,000 kill game for both of them. DauT is back at 120 army though. How is he affording this many units? I guess it's just how much he had in queue.
That's a crazy army in the center now. TaToH needs to get into more skirmishes. 16 in the queue. Wants to go with some more Kipcheck raids, I would assume. 45, by the way, on the group of Kipchecks.
Yeah.
45 kills.
45 kills. Okay, I was going to say, yeah. I mean, I think TaToH, he hasn't gone to the left opening in a long time. Makes sense. Like, the right side's not a threat to him anymore. I mean, he could be raided there if DauT were to get light cav in. And I think if DauT has any chance, Nilly, that's it. He needs counter raids. He is trying now in the north. But TaToH's going to shift his Kipchaks, and he's going to shift his Trebs over to the other side and start to take out DauT's castles there. And DauT won't have any answer to that, but DauT could push through the middle with a ridiculous force of Wrath and Hal.
Ooh, really nice clear up for TaToH in the back, and another raid. They are both playing so wild.
They are. Where's TaToH's monastery? Okay, he is getting the relics now. He just got one. But it actually took him some time to get the relics again.
Yeah. I think it was housed as well.
Yeah.
For the monk.
Ooh, TaToH using his Trebs defensively because here comes DauT. Now it's just one Treb for DauT. And we've seen this be kind of a theme where TaToH can hold here. At one Treb against 3, you should never have your Treb there.
Yeah, that's really ambitious. We have enough Halberdiers, though. Maybe they could even consider committing against the trap.
Yeah.
Oh, that's, I think, what DauT is doing now.
Yeah, well, he's thinking about it, but I mean, it's Halbs. I just don't know. And oh man, TaToH's going to hold here. DauT's population goes down. DauT doesn't even get a Trebuchet, and the Halbs are gone. The Ratha get pushed back, and again, TaToH, who has the greater eco, will get the relics, has found villager kills on the left. Found more kills throughout that, while also garrisoning and defending on the right. TaToH is back again. You cannot kill him. Now, do you Treb the other side? Now you shift to DauT's castles, or do you just ignore it? I don't even know.
So this is like... Do you really need to kill the castles now? Is Ratha really the big threat?
Yeah, that's true.
It feels like we are now playing a wood game, kind of.
Well, that's kind of my point, right? Is like if the castles are gone, both players become very raidable. Like TaToH on the right side is actually extremely exposed, simply due to not having a castle there anymore. But it's wild that the middle's wide open. They both have villagers right beyond that that opening.
So crazy kills by some of the key units of TaToH. Those Kipchaks now at 96 kills.
Yeah.
The castle in the base, in the middle of his base,
83.
that he built like at the 1 hour mark, 83 kills.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. And in late game, it's always castle positions, right? I mean, but TaToH's just kind of got 2 of them. Is absolutely a wood game. DauT is actually chopping the wood in the corners, like in the left corner. He's been chopping wood there, and then in the south he was chopping wood. So that was kind of smart for him. But eventually, the middle chunk is something you'll absolutely need.
Ideally, you want to avoid going for the backwood as long as possible, right? Because one in the center will be the contested one.
Yeah.
Watch out! TaToH's army!
But who?
TaToH's army!
His Kipchaks? Yes,
I have to revert. Sorry.
Well, I don't even see where they died, Nilly, to be honest with you.
Maybe go back a minute. Like, they died next to DauT's base.
Next to DauT's base.
Kipchaks at the bottom in the corner.
Okay, I'm gonna take your word for it. I completely lost sight of him. But 113 villagers for both, and DauT's still with more army. I mean, both players just keep bouncing back here. It's 67 on food versus 78 on food. TaToH does have crop rotation, though. So his farms aren't reseeding as frequently. And DauT's still not really raiding his opponent. Like, he's holding, but he's not getting many good raids. The raids he's going for is actually in the north. And he's just not finding any villagers there, unfortunately.
What a sick game. And now TaToH, next mission, try to get to Kipchaks again.
Yep.
Already back to 14.
Yeah, Kipchaks are really cheap. I forget the exact cost on gold. But for as fragile a unit as it is very cost efficient. So I like what he's doing here. He's still stabilizing the middle. I like the crop rotation upgrade. I like the light cav looping around. Yeah, he's not hitting the wood, but he's still finding some damage there. I mean, even the idle eco stat is close. The idle TC stat's close. Like, everything is so close in this game.
Oh, resources destroyed. TaToH only like 5,000 ahead as well. The KD is so close. Resource collected within 2,000. Crazy.
But, like, wood is the issue, right? Look at where DauT's taking wood. He's taking it in the back corners, but then next to the castle on the left opening. TaToH's taking most of his wood on the right side. Both players are exposed there. It's just like, can you justify getting your population there? I'd favor the steppe husbandry hussars. But I think if it's Kiptech versus Ratha, I think the Ratha are superior. So DauT's Ball of Ratha really important right now for him. Unless it's against Skirms. It's such a weird unit. It's like kills the other unique unit, dies to Skirms that lack Bracer.
Feels wrong.
Oh, another Onager cut here from TaToH. That's interesting. Changing the point of attack. So now there's going to be another area that DauT has to pay attention to. And TaToH's going to get through there. There's actually not many villagers there. I mean, at what point do you just chop the trees where DauT could chop so DauT can't get the wood?
I'm starting this really early. And deathmatch players hate this from me. That was even forbidden in some deathmatch tournaments. Or like, at least deathmatch players didn't do it against each other, but randomer players against deathmatch players did it. So I think it should be something both players should think about.
Yeah. It's going to be tough for DauT not having Onager, of course, but he could think about it. Right now, he's actually using his Ball of Ratha to raid the wood line. And TaToH had to flee with quite a few villagers there on the wood. But we know that TaToH just simply needs to pull his Skirms over, and the Ratha should have to leave. And TaToH's going to trap them. TaToH's going to trap them.
Didn't have enough resources. Has to wait for some more. Oh, gets a house.
DauT's got to take out that stable. TaToH's sending more villagers to build the stable. DauT needs to get free, and he is. Great play from both players. That could have been horrible for DauT if he lost those Ratha there.
He lost quite some still.
Yeah, that's a good point. 85 kills on the units he has remaining, though, so they've certainly done a lot. But DauT, you got to pull back here, my friend. You got to pull back. There's Skirms and there's Hussars. He's probably distracted. But he's pulled TaToH away from the middle, which is nice. So, like, now, your next wave of light cap could go to the middle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the game. It's like, take them to one area, force a reaction here, go here, and you just keep going back and forth.
God. How nervous would you be in such a situation? Like, still, we can't stress, like, this, or you already played for 5 weeks, went through the group stage, and now it all comes down to this crazy game, and either you still have a shot to be TTL Season 3 champion, or it's just over.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think both players have played well enough to beat anybody, right? Especially with the depth of strategy. We've seen both players do really well on very different maps. We've pretty much gone all over. We've had the water, we've had the land, we've had the mixed, we've had the wall, right? But TaToH, though, I think, again, just like doing the better job at finding the damage. And DauT's trebs that he was no doubt saving here are exposed. TaToH needs to group up and kill both of these trebs. That would delay DauT's potential pushback.
Focusing on villagers repairing first. One trap down, second one. Very likely to fall.
Yeah, and then on the right side, TaToH, he's paying attention here. DauT just patrolled. A couple Rathas get killed. Skirms of the enemy there. DauT actually making siege elephants somewhere, so he might push with that. It is crazy to me that these guys have both been at like 190 pop consistently for the last 10 to 20 to maybe even 30 minutes. And the eco KD is what it is right now. We've had over 500 innocent villagers die in this game.
Casual arson here at the 90-minute mark. And yeah, Armored Elephant push at the right side might be an option. Skirmishes alone won't do the job there, so we need some melee units in the front. And that's exactly what DauT wants to kill.
Hey, now he is going to have to build that up. And TaToH has found a little avenue. It's a little risky, actually. But the temptation's almost too real for him, I think, to try and treb down DauT's castles. Yeah, he thinks better of it. And is actually just going to back away now. Wow. This game's insane to me.
I have no idea who's winning.
Yeah.
I have no idea who's ahead.
Yeah, I mean, do we look at relics? Yeah, maybe. We can't look at army count. Because, yeah.
Very rarely games decided by 3-2 relics.
Yeah, especially when the humans are lacking kind of ways to spend their gold, many people feel. I do think the kip check has been a really nice way to do that, though, for TaToH. And TaToH has definitely done a better job protecting his trebuchets. All series. Just tiny little moments of protecting trebs. He's been so patient. And DauT's Ratha on the right having to pull back, which means his siege elephants can't be used. I'm worried for DauT, Nilly. I really am. The momentum for TaToH is definitely there. DauT's units are there, but there will be a point where he cannot queue up units. That might not be for another 30 minutes, though, because when I spoke the words, I looked, and he had 80 units in queue.
And TaToH now sees the siege workshops with flags on them.
Yeah, true. Maybe a couple Hussars next to those siege workshops could do. Oh, man. Trebs for TaToH are exposed against some Halbs. He's got to be careful there. His Kip checks are up against a large force of Halbs and Skirms from DauT towards the center. This is the longest hideout game we've had all season. The longest I've ever seen in a tournament was 2 hours. It was, I think, Hidden Cup 3 ended up being DauT, Miguel, and a Khmer War. Or no, DauT, MBL, sorry. And, I mean, that's been quite a few years. I'm sure there's been some ones, you know, over that, but...
I can't think of a 2-hour plus hideout game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could be one of the longest for sure.
I thought game 1 was going to be the longest after that one. Like, that one was really good, and that went down to limited gold. But obviously, these guys haven't had gold to mine in a long time. Still, just look at how much is on wood, how much is banked up with wood, and then the farms, right? And there's advantage TaToH in this department. Obviously, still has those relics as well. DauT getting some kills on some lumberjacks on the left area where TaToH's Trebs are. The TaToH has protected the Trebs nicely. This is ridiculous stuff here. DauT's still got plenty of wood in the south if he wants to take it, but obviously he could be raided there at any point in time against Hussars, so it's kind of risky.
This set is getting so draining now. Like, we are in over 3 hours. Who would you rate as the player with the better stamina?
Honestly, I think both players can kind of go forever. Like, I know people are gonna maybe like instinctively think DauT because like DauT is older, but there's not that big of an age difference between these two. And like the question marks over some players' play is like, can they stay super clean and can they stay, you know, super concise? Like, neither player needs that to their play. They're really good positionally. So when it's just unit spam and like switching units around, I think both players could go on pretty much like play at their peak level for hours and hours into a game. I don't know about you. You are teammates with them. I don't know. You might have a different take.
I know that TaToH felt like really tough in the Best of 21 sets, that those were played in 2 days, not in 3 days.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think it's a little different though, because it's like if exhaustion then affects the like concise moments of early feudal, early castle when you have to play 21 games every 2 days. This is like all the important, real technical moments are gone now. You know.
Yeah,
Now, if there was 2 more games, if this happens in a best of 7 semi or final, then suddenly that's a different conversation. Thankfully for them, it's going to be the final game, and it still could be anyone's game. What is happening? This is insane.
Yeah, you remember NAC 4 where Yo and ACM had like a 3.5-hour game or something?
Yep.
And I gave them a 15-minute smoke break before they had to play the deciding game.
TaToH's making petards? I think he must have just queued up petards by accident in his castles.
Yeah, it's at the end behind Kip checks.
Yeah. Hey, DauT really tried to contest the wood here nearly. I mean, DauT's making progress. DauT's up to 130 army. Is this the moment? Is he actually going to do it?
Does he have? 2 traps, 3 elephants. Traps are coming in again.
Yeah, elephants are on the other side. TaToH's lumberjacks are going down for the first time in a long time, which is why I said that. He will defend, though. The amount of times that DauT has had 130 army is ridiculous to me. Normally, you have that once. One time it's 130 army, and then if you don't win the game there, you're dead.
Yeah. But, well, Bengalis are special, right? They are not the pop 200 Civ. They are the pop 215 Civ.
Yeah.
Although DauT not really using the bonus that much, right? He only gets 7 more pop.
Yeah, that's fair because he doesn't really have the villagers anymore. TaToH's Hussar production is going to be pretty insane behind this. I'd love to see TaToH use his siege rams actually in the fight here. Like 1 or 2 siege rams in the fight would change things so massively. All of DauT's units would focus on the ram instead of the units.
We have summoned the Q now. Oh, TaToH actually thinks he can push through the center with his traps. Not sure if he can protect them.
Yeah. But I mean, he's held. He's not losing grounds. DauT's Trebs are possibly going to be exposed soon. And DauT doesn't have a unit queue nearly. Like, he's got like maybe 20 units in queue, and he's not floating a lot of resources.
DauT doesn't get a lot of resources in right now. TaToH is solid 50% more income right now.
TaToH has only had to kill 405 villagers to get to a point where DauT might not have a big unit queue anymore. That's it from TaToH. Gotta save your Trebs, though, here, TaToH. These Trebs have been so valuable to you. He sees it now. He might lose that one. But DauT's population isn't rising anymore, Nilly. He's still got army count. But TaToH's army count's similar. The eco count is way better for TaToH. Oh, man.
Now producing towards the middle. Kind of gives up on the push at the top, but then I think just send your traps away.
Yeah. Fair point. Kip checks from TaToH aren't needed anymore. The petards that TaToH queued up, one of them's actually here. And we have to imagine that was a misclick. There's no strategic element to that. TaToH still hasn't lost much ground. TaToH is making progress with the Ram and the Halbs on the right. So DauT's losing buildings there too. TaToH's just going to ignore this because he could just defend with skirms and be fine. And he has Hussars going into DauT's eco, which is so fragile right now. Just 83 villagers, and TaToH will find kills on them. Oh, man.
Town centers, though, right? He should be able to produce villages pretty quickly. 7 town centers in total. But
Yeah.
you're losing so many builds.
Yeah, I guess the problem is, right, you need food for Halbs, and you need food for skirms, and then you also need food for vills. And if you only have 50 on food, and you don't have, like, a real resource bank, it's kind of one or the other. And what normally happens here is it's going to be vills, and then you just won't have the army to protect them.
Oh no, the Ratans! They're chasing down the Kip checks! They're running to the castle, they're dying to the skirms. What's happening here?
Oh, it's panic moment from DauT. Maybe he didn't know the pathing would happen, but Nilly, I think he was already finished anyways. TaToH has somehow held on here. He's at 200 pop, and he will finish off DauT here. Poor DauT. Incredible performance. It's going to take some time for him to come to the same conclusion, but there is just red dots from the Spaniard everywhere. Just everywhere, as he's now killed 450 villagers in one game. But
This is so sick.
I don't know how you could look at your performance here if you're DauT and say that you could play much better than he did in this series.
Yeah.
You know, at least you have that. Crazy from TaToH.
It feels so weird. This feels like a top 8 worthy performance by DauT.
Yep.
But it feels like his journey will stop in the round of 12.
Yeah. A 90 pop is what we see on screen. Technically speaking, it's like 10% of his eco population doesn't count for pop, so there's the positive. It's actually 95. But TaToH's just everywhere. And there's a little bit of opportunity for DauT. Like, here's a counter raid now to kill some vills, but he's not going to have an eco soon. 2,000 kills for TaToH. Is it after this then that we, you know, if there was any regret for DauT, maybe it takes it all the way back to no elite Huskarl? We don't know. We don't know.
He might think,
but still.
That, yeah. Aye.
Yeah, this is.
And this is the GG timing of a broken man.
Yeah. Yeah, what a statement. I agree. This is a player who knows how good he's played, who knows how hard he worked, who knows how much damage he did to TaToH, who probably prepared, some strategies, and we know he did, right? Game number 1 especially, I felt like the most prepared strategy from him. And the GG is called, and TaToH will win. I'm sure DauT will be rooting for him. He says, good luck, Tiger. And you gotta love the respect that these two have for each other. You saw it between them throughout the whole series, but a masterful performance from TaToH. It felt like he had to work so hard to win every game against DauT here today.
Absolutely crazy. And yeah, I can't wait to see TaToH in the next round. That was just like so good on so many diverse maps, and DauT put on a great show. And yeah, we were excited for this matchup, and they delivered. Yeah,
the best series by far that we have seen so far in TTL, and it will take some series to ever beat this one because of how back and forth it was. Again, it wasn't just the quality of the games, but it was the amount of fight that both players showed. There was so much back and forth in each and every game, right? You do this, I do that. A big advantage here, but the other player takes another position. Like, really, every game we could probably deep dive in terms of the pros and cons of every decision. We, of course, are not going to have time for that. TaToH collected 232,000 resources in that game. DauT was at 217, which is still obviously a great deal. But TaToH had a lot more food, which he spent on Hussars. and he had a bit more gold, which was probably just spread into maybe some trebs or kip checks here or there. Normally, I'd ask you, Nilly, what DauT could have done differently here. I guess I should still ask it. Is there even anything that DauT can look to in this game that he needed to do differently, or did he really just try everything?
Play against a less godlike player.
Yeah.
DauT wins again. If we are not facing a top 5 player, I think DauT wins this game.
Yeah, I think the best thing DauT could have done for himself is win his group, so he didn't go to the round of 12, or
maybe.
or maybe hope that TaToH would have fallen into a position other than third in his group. Just how it goes when you're talking the biggest names. The winner here today was always going to be up against ACCM in the quarterfinal, who was the winner of Group B. And so we will have that in 2 or 3 days. I don't know exactly which day, but that should be a banger of a series, ACCM versus TaToH. Of course, congratulations, TaToH. I hope DauT doesn't really look too negatively at this result today. I hope he understands how beastly he played, because he had an amazing season.
Yeah, certainly. Obviously, he was kind of the player that we felt, okay, at some point, is he considered still top 8, top 10? And then we felt, okay, he had really good performances now. This was the tournament where we felt it could have been another like semi-final performance again.
Yeah,
sadly,
absolutely.
not against TaToH.
Yeah, of course. Well, GG's, great games. That was a 3.5 hour best of 5 there. Definitely one. Like, if you're trying to get people into the game and people like competition, and there's a series you want to show them, this is definitely the series to show them. It shows the depth of the game, right, Nilly? Like, so much diverse gameplay available in Age of Empires 2 with mixed map pools. So, good stuff.